This page is the colorful cover of the May 1993 issue of BeepMD magazine, featuring Sonic the Hedgehog playing soccer with the main character from Kyo Flying Squadron. The large text overlay conveys excitement for upcoming releases. The cover highlights major news like Street Fighter II Special Champion Edition coming to the Mega Drive 2, marking Capcom's significant entry into the platform. There's a special report on Victor Entertainment's Kyo Flying Squadron for the Mega CD. A bound-in supplement offers a guide for Fatal Fury and an encyclopedia covering fighting games. The issue also previews other notable titles such as Rocket Knight Adventures, Populous, PGA Tour Golf 2, Crackdown, J-League Pro Striker, and Mega CD games like 3x3 Eyes, Night Striker, and the Phantasy Star IV and II collection. Furthermore, it teases information on Gunstar Heroes, Surging Aura, and many more new titles. This page features the new Mega CD2 console, shown attached to the Mega Drive 2. It highlights the Mega CD2's specifications, including enhanced RAM, faster access times, a more powerful CPU, and improved audio capabilities, positioning it as an affordable evolution of the platform with a release date of April 23 for 29,800 yen. The page also previews several upcoming Mega CD games. Featured are 3x3 Eyes, an anime-style game noted for its visuals and planned for release on May 21 at 8,800 yen, and Dark Wizard, described as a strategic role-playing game, also scheduled for May 21 release at 6,800 yen. Additionally, Ranma 1/2 Byakuran Ikoku is presented as a faithful anime adaptation utilizing full animation and cinematic screens, released on April 23 for 8,300 yen. Finally, Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2 is highlighted as a strategic simulation inviting players to dominate ancient China, released on April 23 for 14,800 yen. The page showcases screenshots or character art for each game. This page is dedicated to the Mega CD Game Switch, launched alongside the new Mega CD2 hardware. It promotes Switch as a unique, comedic experience, packed with 1,000 rapid-fire gags that players explore in a strange world. The game was an ambitious project, taking 4 years to develop, with a large data footprint of roughly 240 megabits, which the page proudly notes is about 30 times the size of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. It highlights the game's unusual production, involving strange staff, and even features a credit for human sound effects. Released on April 23, 1993, as a Mega CD exclusive, priced at 8,800 yen, Switch also supports the Sega mouse peripheral. The screenshots depict the game's distinct, quirky art style and varied environments, hinting at the bizarre scenarios promised by the gags. This page showcases Fatal Fury, the popular fighting action game, making its debut on the Sega Mega Drive. The artwork prominently features the series' iconic heroes, Terry Bogard and C.D. Bogard, and Joe Higashi, alongside the imposing villain Geese Howard looming large in the background. The text highlights the game's comfortable controls, diverse special moves, and distinct characters, inviting players to challenge themselves on the path to becoming the strongest fighter. It notes the game's release date as April 23 for 8,800 yen, the same day as the Mega CD title Switch featured on the previous page. 3 screenshots at the bottom provide a glimpse of the intense 2D fighting gameplay. This page introduces the sleek, compact Sega Mega Drive 2 console, making its debut at a new, lower price point. As you'd expect from a 16-bit machine, it boasts vibrant graphics and powerful sound. A welcome improvement is the new, smaller 6-button control pad, referred to as the Fighting Pad 6B here, making handling easier. The text also highlights the console's extensive library of over 250 available software titles, showcasing its versatility. Simultaneously releasing on April 23 is J-League Pro Striker, priced at 8,800 yen. This game brings the excitement of the newly formed J-League to the Mega Drive, inviting players to experience the thrill of the season's opening. The game features face and data entries for all 10 teams, and a vertical scroll field designed to feel like the real thing. Background screenshots hint at the console's power, with glimpses of games like Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Golden Axe, and Street of Rage, demonstrating the variety of experiences available on the platform. The Mega Drive 2 console package is priced at 12,800 yen, offering high performance at a low price. This page prominently features an upcoming compilation of the popular Arcus series for the Mega CD, titled Arcus 1, 2, and 2i. This release brings the complete, sprawling story of all three parts together. A major draw highlighted is the inclusion of roughly 5 hours of voice acting, a significant feature for the platform at the time, utilizing a large and luxurious cast for every character, and it's announced as coming soon. The page also briefly showcases 3 other titles from Wolf Team. Narrated, again, described as an emotional fighting action game focusing on its main character, is currently available. Road Blaster, an FMV title, is advertised for its non-stop car chases and action movie excitement, also on sale now. Lastly, D1 Devastator, part of a larger D Project media mix featuring mechs and characters, is scheduled for release in late April. This page features a striking illustration of the main characters from the Arcus series. The image serves as a visual showcase, presenting the key heroes and a villain-like figure against a dramatic sunset backdrop. The focus is clearly on the distinct anime art style and character designs, reinforcing the fantasy setting. The only text present identifies the developer/publisher as Nihon Telenet and Wolf Team, along with a phone number. This artwork likely complements the information about the Arcus Mega CD compilation mentioned on the previous page, giving players a look at the cast they can expect in the upcoming release. This page features a large promotional spread for the strategy simulation game Megalomania, known as Megalomania in Japan. It showcases the core gameplay loop, where players choose one of 4 leaders to conquer planets by eliminating rival races through technological advancement, alliances, and destruction. The game features varied weapons and tactics across 28 stages. The page highlights 2 of the playable leaders. Scarlet, a proud but emotional princess from Antares fighting for her nation's survival, and Caesar, a just and cool-headed leader from Nation Wyvern striving for universal unity. Developed by Sensible Software and published by Virgin Games, the game is presented as an 8 Mega Room title for the Mega Drive. This page features a look at the Mega CD strategy game Cyber War, showcasing tactical screenshots of units and buildings on various maps. The game is highlighted with 2 key character profiles. Oberon, described as the mastermind leader of the Oberons, known for his unpredictable, logical strategies, and Madcap 4245, the battle-hardened commander of the military planet Marduk, unmatched in tactics and aiming for universal conquest. The game is noted as a Mega CD exclusive, with a price of 8,400 yen, excluding tax. There's conflicting release information presented, with an orange burst indicating an April 23rd release scheduled, while a green burst proclaims it is now on sale at optimal condition. At the bottom, the page also briefly mentions Afterburner 2i for the Mega Drive, noting that enemy planes are being shot down one after another, with a copyright from Sega 1991 and reprogrammed by Cry 1992. A small section also invites designers to apply to CSK Soken. This page announces the debut of the legendary hero, Ultraman, on the Mega Drive in a realistic fighting game. The game faithfully recreates the story and atmosphere of the classic TV series, featuring nostalgic theme music, popular monsters, and over 50 stages to battle through. Ultraman's iconic special moves, including the Flash Beam, Attack Ray, and Light Cutter, are included, alongside standard attacks like kicks, punches, and chops. The game also incorporates the dramatic color timer mechanic, adding tension to the fights. Prepare to face off against formidable foes in this action-packed adaptation. The game is scheduled for release on April 9th. This page showcases Koei's historical simulation game, Genghis Khan, which is part of their acclaimed historical trilogy alongside Nobunaga's Ambition and Romance of the Three Kingdoms. The page features striking artwork depicting the legendary conqueror Genghis Khan, a woman, and soldiers, reflecting the game's focus on the Mongol Empire. Screenshots illustrate the strategic gameplay, with map views and battle scenarios typical of Koei's detailed simulations. The text highlights the game allows players to experience the life of Genghis Khan, emphasizing the drama and historical depth. The game was released across multiple platforms including the Mega Drive, Super Famicom, and Famicom, and was popular upon release. This page features the 3rd installment in Koei's acclaimed historical simulation series, Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2i. Following the previous discussion of their trilogy, the striking main image depicts a powerful figure from the era, likely one of the main warlords, standing confidently before a roaring tiger, symbolizing strength and ambition. The game, released on Mega CD, Mega Drive, and Super Famicom, is presented as a dramatic evolution of the series. It boasts over 500 officers, each with detailed stats and profiles, allowing players to strategize and engage in deep diplomacy and large-scale hex-based battles to unify ancient China. The Mega CD version is highlighted for its enhanced background music, improved sound effects, and full-motion video opening animation, adding significant atmosphere and immersion. The page emphasizes the depth and detail, positioning it as a comprehensive simulation of the Three Kingdoms period. Screenshots show the strategic map view, character data screens, and interaction interfaces familiar to fans of Koei's simulation games. The game was set for release on April 23. This page features Taiko Rishiden, another historical simulation game from Koei, following their expertise in the genre like the Romance of the Three Kingdoms series. The prominent artwork showcases Toyotomi Hideyoshi, a key figure in Japanese history known for his rise from a peasant to unify Japan, with the tagline emphasizing his ambition. The game allows players to experience Hideyoshi's dramatic life story and path to power through strategic simulation gameplay. Screenshots depict the familiar top-down map view for movement and strategy, along with detailed character portraits and interface elements typical of Koei's simulation titles. Taiko Rishiden was scheduled for release on the Mega Drive in May at a price of 11,800 yen, while the Super Famicom version was already available and selling well. This highlights Koei's multi-platform approach to their popular strategy franchises. The next page features Illusion City, Microcabin's first entry onto the Sega CD platform, slated for a May 1993 release at 7,800 yen. This title is billed as a shocking near-future cyberpunk super legend RPG, set in a bustling yet enigmatic futuristic Hong Kong. The game highlights detailed 8-head ratio character sprites, dynamic presentation effects, and includes a VR system, along with command-based combat. The soundtrack features special arrangements by Koichi Okarita. Screenshots showcase the game's battle interface, character status screens, and atmospheric cityscapes, suggesting a visually impressive and story-driven experience focusing on a protagonist navigating this mysterious city while seeking his past and encountering figures like the female Demon Buster, member of the Anti-Demon Attack Squad. This page showcases a selection of exciting titles from Electronic Arts. First up is the action-packed platformer, James Pond 2, codename Robocod, where the aquatic hero takes on Dr. Evil's Christmas-themed plans. This game, known for its unique stretchable body mechanic and vibrant levels, was released on June 3 for 8,900 yen. Next in the Air Force series is the Simulation LHX Attack Chopper. This title puts you in the cockpit of powerful helicopters, including the titular LHX, for intense combat missions in various environments like deserts and swamps. It hit shelves on May 21, also priced at 8,900 yen. Moving to the sports lineup, we have PGA Tour Golf 2. This realistic golf simulation features licensed pro golfers and offers detailed graphics, including 3D views from the green, aiming to recreate the thrill of the sport. It was released on April 16 for 8,900 yen. Finally, the page highlights NBA Playoffs, featuring the legendary Bulls vs. Lakers matchup. This basketball simulation boasts real NBA teams and players with accurate stats, providing an authentic representation of the sport. It was available from April 2nd, priced at 8,900 yen. There's also a promotion where collecting coupons can earn you great prizes. This page features an exciting announcement for the game Allshark. Titled The Legend is Resurrected, this serves as an urgent reveal for the highly anticipated space RPG, which is finally set to appear. The text highlights that the game promises new excitement and is a major work that players have been waiting for. Allshark is scheduled for release this summer on the Mega CD platform. The page includes the Mega Drive and Mega CD logos, along with copyright information from Polydor K.K. and Right Stuff, and the publisher, Polydor K.K. Under the Sandstorm label. There's also a note about the game being exclusive to Mega CD and licensed by Sega. This page, dated May 1993, serves as the table of contents and features highlights for the issue. It prominently features a bound-in appendix titled The Fatal Fury and Fighting Game Encyclopedia Victory Guide. The issue dives into new and upcoming software with sections like the New Software Scramble, showcasing titles such as Slap Fight, Marble Madness, Golden Axe 2i, Eliminate Down, and Rocket Knight Adventures. A major emergency special is highlighted, focusing on the arrival of Street Fighter II and the launch of the Mega Drive 2 console, alongside previews of highly anticipated games like Gunstar Heroes, Surging Aura, and Phantasy Star IV. Other features include a special report on Kyo Flying Squadron for the Mega CD, a look at the Laseractive Library's launch software, and the Mega CD press section covering new disc releases like Allshark and Night Striker. The contents list details regular columns, reader features, game-specific articles on titles like Sonic, and developer spotlights on companies such as Climax Entertainment and Sega Falcom, providing a comprehensive overview of the Mega Drive scene at the time. This page presents the shop data, analyzing the sales trends for both Mega Drive/Mega CD and Game Gear software. The Mega Drive Top 10 chart shows Puyo Puyo holding the top spot, boosted by its re-release and achieving significant cumulative sales. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 remains a strong seller at second place, demonstrating its enduring popularity. The third spot goes to Yumi Mix, an adventure game noted for its quiet but steady sales and replayability thanks to multiple endings. Other titles in the top ranks include the Fighter Streets of Rage 2, Flight Simulator F-22 Interceptor, and the RPG Lunar, the Silver Star. The magazine notes that this month saw fewer new major releases, leading to a stable ranking, and mentions the emergence of budget hardware and the anticipation surrounding Street Fighter II. Below that, the Game Gear Top 5 highlights the handheld's popular titles. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 also leads the charge on the portable, followed by the tactical RPG Shining Force Gaiden, Streets of Rage, Ayrton Senna's Super Monaco GP2, and the puzzle game Lemmings round out the top 5. The commentary points out the Game Gear's surprisingly strong performance, perhaps benefiting from its price point, and praises the quality of its software library. This page presents user data, showcasing the top 20 games that Mega Drive users most desire to see ported to the system, compiled from reader surveys. Topping this wish list are popular titles like Fatal Fury 2, the highly anticipated Street Fighter II Turbo, Madu Monogatari, Princess Maker, and Wolffang. Excitingly, the page celebrates confirmed and upcoming ports. Street Fighter II Turbo is officially announced for the Mega Drive cartridge, a long-awaited event highlighted with a screenshot. Virtua Racing is also confirmed to be coming, featuring impressive technology, and Pebble Beach Golf Links is featured as a notable 3D golf title, both shown with screenshots. Below this, the Shop Data section lists the top 5 most popular video games based on shop surveys. The rankings show Lethal Enforcers at number 1, followed by Street Fighter II Turbo, Virtua Racing, a new entry International Superstar Soccer, and Puyo Puyo. The commentary points out the impact of the Street Fighter II Turbo announcement on the charts, and highlights the emergence of International Superstar Soccer and the continued popularity of Puyo Puyo, featuring screenshots for the latter two games. This page delves into the user data section, specifically highlighting the top 20 highly anticipated new games based on reader surveys. It comments on the current state of upcoming software, noting that major releases are poised to shake up future rankings, building on the excitement from titles like Street Fighter II. Leading the charge at number 1 is Sylpheed, an incredibly impressive 3D polygon shooter that looks set to be a visual spectacle. Jumping to second place is Phantasy Star IV, the latest entry in the beloved RPG series, which is finally sharing more details, including its intriguing sub-characters. At third place is 3x3 Eyes, an adventure game praised for its stunning, cinematic opening sequence. The Arcus series takes fourth, compiling 3 popular PC RPGs into one package for the Mega Drive CD. Sonic CD, ranking 5th, is generating buzz for its promised visual scenes featuring animation by a skilled artist, hinting at deeper gameplay. The anticipation continues with other strong titles rounding out the top 20, including Langrisser 2, Night Striker, Super Daisen Ryaku 2i, Shinobi 2-1, Return of the Ninja Master, and Rocket Knight Adventures, showing a diverse range of genres users are looking forward to. The points are derived from reader feedback, indicating a strong interest in these upcoming releases. This page presents the highly anticipated new software schedule for Sega's platforms, Mega Drive, Mega CD, and Game Gear. It's structured into lists for each system, detailing upcoming games with their titles, planned release dates, prices, and technical data, including genre and publisher. The Mega Drive section is packed with major releases, featuring titles like the iconic fighting games Street Fighter II, Champion Edition, the highly anticipated RPG Phantasy Star IV, the sequel Shining Force 2, and the latest entry in the series, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, all of which were recently highlighted in the user anticipation rankings. Other notable titles include Thunder Force IV and Streets of Rage 3 for the Mega CD. Upcoming games include the adventure title Snatcher and a compilation of the Arcus RPG series. The Game Gear also shows a strong lineup with titles such as Streets of Rage 2 and Shining Force Gaiden 2. The editorial team expresses excitement about the schedule, particularly highlighting the impact of releases like Street Fighter II Champion Edition, and suggesting that this year could be pivotal for Sega. They specifically draw attention to the releases planned for June. Alongside the schedule, there's a first-look screenshot of the upcoming Shin Megami Tensei game for the Mega Drive, showing a powerful winged warrior character. This page contains messages directly from various software developers and publishers, giving updates on their projects and engaging with the readers. Sega Enterprises highlights April releases like Fatal Fury and the unique Mega CD title switch. Craig confirms the Megalomania release date and hints at a developer's name hidden in the Dyna Brothers manual. Tengen announces upcoming titles including Snow Brothers. Konami reports smooth progress on Rocket Knight Adventures. Softvision is bringing Eliminate Down and Top Pro Golf 2 in June. Victor Entertainment mentions Jaguar XJ220 and Wolfchild. Messiah has the Ranma 1/2 game coming and promotes a Cho Aniki concert. Capcom is thrilled about the confirmed release of Street Fighter II Champion Edition for the Mega Drive. Success shares positive user feedback and confirms Panorama Cotton is coming soon. Based on the arcade hit, Taito asks if readers have played the Ninja Warriors and announces Night Striker is finally ready for release in May. Pony Canyon reveals Eye of the Beholder will be their first Mega Drive title, currently in development to enhance the PC version. Riot apologizes for the undetermined release dates of A Rank Thunder and Cyborg 009, stating they are working hard on upgrades. The messages cover game announcements, release status updates, and general developer thoughts. This page features the BeepMD Race review section, highlighting recent and upcoming releases with ratings from different reviewers. 3 games are reviewed here. First up is the action-adventure Title Gods, which gets an average score of 5.25. Reviewers found the Greek mythology theme intriguing, the puzzles challenging, and the difficulty quite high, suggesting it requires patience. There's a screenshot showing the game's detailed, somewhat dark, dungeon graphics. Next is Battletoads, scoring a solid 7.0. This Mega Drive port of the popular NES game is praised for its faithful conversion, retaining the action, good music, and comical characters. The fast tempo makes it engaging, and the screenshot shows the game's distinct visual style in a cavern level. Reviewers note the 2-player co-op is helpful. Finally, Ultraman, released April 9th, receives an average score of 5.75. This title is a port of the Super Famicom game, considered largely faithful, despite some sound differences. The atmosphere of the characters and monsters is captured well, and the action has impact. However, the difficulty and somewhat repetitive patterns are mentioned as drawbacks. The screenshot depicts Ultraman battling a kaiju. Overall, the page provides concise takes on diverse genres, reflecting the reviewer's opinions and offering a quick guide for readers interested in these new Mega Drive titles. This page features the BeepMD Race review section, highlighting 4 recent game releases for the Mega Drive. First up is PGA Tour Golf 2, a licensed golf simulation praised for its real-world courses and players, offering a user-friendly experience, although putting is noted as tricky. It received an average score of 6.75. Next is Fatal Fury, a faithful port of the fighting game featuring playable boss characters. Reviewers found it a solid conversion for the Mega Drive, despite some minor differences from the original, earning an average score of 7.5. The third game is Desert Strike, Return to the Gulf, a strategic helicopter shooter set during the Gulf War. Reviewers found the controls unique and the gameplay challenging, requiring tactical thinking, resulting in an average score of 6.75. Finally, J.League Pro Striker is a soccer game featuring real teams and players from the J.League, noted for its realistic character movement and ball physics. This title also scored an average of 6.75. The page provides a quick overview of these diverse titles, with average scores and brief reviewer commentary. This page continues the BeepMD Race review section, featuring 4 diverse Mega Drive titles. First up is Populous 2, Trials of the Olympian Gods, known as Megalomania in Japan. This strategy game, popular overseas, involves choosing one of 4 gods and guiding your civilization through 28 stages. Reviewers compare it to the original Populous, but find it a deeper experience focused on growth and resource management. It scored an average of 7.0. Next is Switch, a gag-heavy adventure game with numerous puzzles and jokes. It features mouse support and is noted for its unique humor, although some reviewers found it occasionally confusing or repetitive. It received an average score of 7.25. Following is Ranma 1/2, Byakuran Aika, an adventure game based on the popular anime/manga series. While praised for capturing the feel of the show, reviewers criticized interruptions for battles or choices that disrupt the pacing, and noted some voice quality issues. It scored an average of 5.25. Finally, the Sega Classic Arcade Collection compiles 4 classic Mega Drive launch titles: Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, Columns, and The Revenge of Shinobi. Originally a bonus, this collection is now available separately. Reviewers were happy to see these classics together, but noted minor differences in the ports and a slight inconvenience in navigation. It earned an average score of 7.25 and was recommended for players missing these titles. This page continues the game reviews, starting with Devastator, a Mega CD action game featuring giant robots and anime cutscenes. Reviewers noted the gap between the action and anime sections, finding the game difficult and possibly best suited for fans, giving it a score around 6. Next is Pro Yaku GG League, a baseball simulation game, likely a Game Gear title but reviewed here. It includes real player data and editable teams. While some found the batting awkward and compared it to older Famicom games, the data and versus mode were appreciated, resulting in a score around 7. Finally, GG Doraemon, Norisuke's Ambition, an action platformer featuring the popular character. Reviewers described it as simple, similar to Mario, but with occasional difficulty spikes and some frustrating moments. Despite the simple action, it was considered decent, scoring around 6. Editorial comments highlight the release of new, cheaper hardware models and a flood of accompanying software. Recommendations focus heavily on fighting and sports games this month. Fatal Fury is repeatedly praised as an excellent fighting game port, and Battletoads is recommended for action fans. Switch and Sega classics, especially for Mega CD users without the original room versions, are also mentioned as worth checking out, with a note that while prices might seem high, these titles, particularly Fatal Fury and Switch, are essential additions. This page features the BeepMD Readers Race Volume 26, a reader-voted ranking of Mega Drive games based on average scores. The main section presents a table listing games by their reader rank and average score. Highlighted games include the surprise #1 pick, Umix, an ADV per Candela title, which received a very high reader score of over 9 points, although the magazine's own score was significantly lower. Reader comments praised its story and characters, but noted issues with load times and gameplay pacing. Also featured are 2 contending long shots: F-22 Interceptor, a flight simulation game ranked 7th with a solid reader score and higher magazine score, and Pro Football, likely an American football game, ranked 55th, also with decent reader and magazine scores. The magazine's commentary on the top ranks notes the high scores achieved by many games this month, with Umix's top placement being unexpected. Other high-ranking titles mentioned include Bare Knuckle 2, Streets of Rage 2, and Puyo Puyo. Finally, lower-ranked games like Side Pocket, Pool, and Holyfield Boxing are briefly presented with their scores and reader feedback. This page continues the BeepMD Readers Race Volume 26 rankings, focusing on games ranked below 43. Highlights include reader-voted game spotlights. Tasmania, 111th, received praise for its graphics and sound but criticism for its controls. Team USA Basketball, 152nd, offered realistic gameplay despite visual shortcomings, with some finding the pace slow. Tenma Mega CD Special, 177th, was noted as a decent strategy game, although its interface and slow pace were drawbacks. A Watch Out For section mentions Pachinko Kurichan, 221st, a pachinko game with a slow pace and uninspired story and goal. 225th, a Kunio-kun title with good gameplay but dated visuals and a high price. The page concludes with short reader comments on various aspects of the Mega Drive. This page features a spotlight on the game Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water, ranked 26th in the B-Mega Readers race, and reviewed by London Kobayashi. Based on the popular anime, this adventure game from Namco is highlighted for its engaging scenario and excellent BGM, considered top tier for Mega Drive adventures at the time. London Kobayashi shares his personal journey from initially being unfamiliar with the anime to becoming a fan while writing about the game, praising Namco's handling of the character game, despite some gameplay criticisms like small text and a flawed password system. The page also includes a data section showing vote distribution for the race, and continues the B-Mega Readers race rankings, listing games from 107 down to 158. Recognizable titles in this section include Midnight Resistance, Alien Storm, Rolling Thunder 2, Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, Shadow Dancer, and Afterburner 2. A brief commentary analyzes trends in the lower ranks, noting the performance of recent releases and established titles. This page continues the B-Mega Readers race rankings, covering positions from 159 down to 222. The main feature focuses on selecting mid-level betting tickets, games considered strong contenders below the top ranks. Afterburner 2 is spotlighted, receiving a high magazine score of 9.0. The reviewer, Jam Oji-san, praises the Mega Drive port for its excellent quality, capturing the feel of the arcade original, especially its driving gameplay and rock BGM. While acknowledging some might find it simple today, its impact as a crucial title for the hardware is emphasized. Other sections highlight Super Volleyball, described as a solid arcade port enjoyable for versus play, and Devil Crush, known as Dragon's Fury internationally, noted as a rare gem from the PC Engine that is a must-buy if found due to its scarcity. Super HQ, released as SPY Special Project Y overseas, is labeled a resting horse, suggesting it hasn't garnered enough reader attention recently. This page features a fascinating analysis of Mega Drive and Mega CD software prices, exploring the trend of average costs increasing over time. The graph illustrates this shift, noting key points in the system's history that influenced pricing. The page also continues the deep dive into the B-Mega Readers race, listing games ranked from 223 down to 275 based on reader votes. While not highlighting top contenders, this section gives a snapshot of how a wide variety of titles are performing in the eyes of the fans. Adding interactive elements, the page hosts 2 prediction contests. One challenging readers to guess the rank of the recently released Final Fight CD on the Mega CD, and another asking for predictions on the average score for the upcoming Splatterhouse 3 on the Mega Drive. Both contests feature screenshots of the respective games, showcasing their visual style. Finally, an editorial section provides commentary on the state of the readers' race and looks ahead to exciting upcoming releases that are expected to shake up the rankings. This page analyzes Mega Drive/Mega CD prices, continues reader rankings, and features prediction contests for Final Fight CD and Splatterhouse 3. This page features the B-Mega CM Detective Team, dedicated to reviewing game commercials. It focuses on 2 distinct CMS, one for Final Fight CD and another for Strider. The Final Fight CD commercial is highlighted as the 11th review. The screenshots depict the Crem's emphasis on the Mega CD medium, showing a CD literally coming to life, sprouting limbs, and engaging in combat before transitioning to game footage and character selection screens. The review praises it as a cool CM that fully showcases the CD aspect. The second CM reviewed is for Strider, described as a super masterpiece CM, titled Shouting Men Chapter. This 15-second commercial is presented as bizarre, showing 3 men repeatedly shouting in various poses, with screenshots capturing their intense expressions. The CM reportedly ends without a clear explanation, leaving viewers confused but entertained. An accompanying article provides behind-the-scenes details. It notes the Final Fight CD-CM used synthetic processing, not CG, and hid subtle Sega Sonic logos. The article reveals the actors portraying the limbs in the Strider CM were the same ones from the Streets of Rage 2 commercial. Despite Strider's popularity, the Crem's strange concept, filmed under challenging conditions, wasn't particularly well received, according to Sega's PR department. This page is a preview for the '93 racing season, aimed at B-Mega racing freaks. It highlights the key aspects of various racing categories to watch. The All Japan F3000 season is predicted to be intensely competitive, featuring a mix of established champions and rising young drivers. The All Japan F3 series is also seeing increased participation, with a large number of entries, and is being elevated to a main race event. A new series, the ICL, Inter-Circuit League, is introduced, promising exciting mixed-class racing with various sports car categories like JSPC, IMSA, Group A N2, and JSS, all competing together on the track. Other categories covered include the All Japan Touring Car Championship. The feature notes the overwhelming dominance of the Skyline GT-R, but speculates this might be the last year to see its reign. The battle between the Civic and Corolla is also highlighted as a point of interest. The page also includes diagrams showing the hierarchy and divisions within Formula, IndyCar, sports car, and touring car racing. This page is the BeepMD Network Spotlight Corner, introducing trending new games. It focuses on Dark Edge, a 3D battle game where 6 warriors clash. Presented as Sega's highly anticipated new title, it offers super realistic 3D action reminiscent of SFX movies, using scaling and depth to create compelling battle scenes. The premise is set in the 25th century, where humanity is controlled by a giant computer. Outsiders who escaped its control begin their fight. The page highlights the 6 unique warriors, each with their own battle techniques and endings. 2 players can join the fight mid-game. The featured fighters are Goliath, a former Russian laborer in a powerful suit. Quote, Thud, an American samurai master with lightning power. Quote, Jaeger, a German fighter pilot who became a flying cyborg. MEK, a European mercenary turned cyborg seeking revenge. Quote, Blood, a biomonster created through genetic manipulation. Genie, a female martial artist enhancing her kicks with a special supporter. This page is the BeepMD Genesis information section, highlighting upcoming games on the system. It features Data East's Captain America and the Avengers, a game plan for release on MegaDrive. Described as a simple beat-em-up where you defeat villains, players can choose from 4 characters: Captain America, Iron Man, Hawkeye, and Vision, each with different attack styles. The reviewer notes that while it might seem like a typical game, it has a distinctly strong American flavor not common in Japanese games, citing strange character movements and funny bosses, like one that laughs with sampled voice. The playable characters themselves are also described as odd, particularly Vision. The page also touches on the interesting trend of Japanese game developers creating games based on American comics, often primarily for the much larger US market. Examples mentioned include games like Spider-Man, TMNT, and X-Men. The article highlights that despite being made in Japan, some games, like Sunsoft's Superman, were even unreleased domestically. Overall, the page suggests that while the un-Japanese comic game scene can be mixed, Japan plays a significant role. This page covers BeepMD news and information, focusing on recent events. First up is the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 National Tournament Finals held in Tokyo, where winners from around Japan gathered. The article features photos of the finalists, including one with the Sonic mascot, and mentions the intense battles fought throughout the tournament. The second major event highlighted is a survival experience, using Sega's lock-on laser tag system and a theme park maze. This was a press event where various participants, including the BeepMD team, engaged in laser battles within a large maze structure. The photos show the players with their lock-on gear and the complex maze environment. The article touches on the strategy and rules of the game, like scoring points by hitting head targets. There's also a brief mention of a new control pad called the Mega Commander, with rapid fire and slow motion functions, set for release soon. This page dives into various news and information highlights. First up, Sega is making big moves, announcing a sponsorship deal with the Fry 1 champion team Canon-Williams. The article mentions Sega logos appearing on Alain Proust's car and gear, including Sonic the Hedgehog imagery, aiming to make Sonic truly the fastest in the world. Next, we see a unique concept in television, with an interactive drama, where viewers influence the story through postcards. It sounds like a pioneering attempt at interactive storytelling on TV. There's also a report on a television segment called Virtual Battler, which seems to replicate the feel of arcade fighting games like Street Fighter II, using a PC setup to create a tangible fighting experience on screen. The screenshots show people participating in a simulated fight environment. Finally, the page notes the first anniversary of Namco Wonder Egg theme park, highlighting special events and a new attraction called Virtual Vehicle. The new release section lists several creds and a video release, including soundtracks for games like Ranma 1/2 and Brandish 2, which is great news for game music fans. This page features an urgent special report announcing the arrival of Street Fighter II on the Mega Drive. This is massive news, marked by headlines proclaiming, "Come on, Capcom joins!" the Sega platform. The page showcases a large illustration of Ryu from Street Fighter II, emphasizing the game's impact. The main story confirms the long-rumored Mega Drive port of the super popular fighting game is indeed coming on cartridge, set for a June release in both Japan and the US. It highlights the significance of Capcom entering the Mega Drive market with this title. While the price isn't finalized, it suggested it will be comparable to the US Genesis price of around $75, or the Japanese Super Famicom price of 9,800 yen. The cartridge is noted to be a large one, over 16 megs, aiming to faithfully reproduce the intensity of the arcade version. The excitement and anticipation for this port are clearly conveyed as very high. Additionally, the page lists some of Sega's own highly anticipated upcoming titles, including Gunstar Heroes, tentative title, and Phantasy Star IV. This page dives into the history of the Street Fighter series, labeling it the Golden Tower of fighting games in an urgent special feature. It traces the lineage from the original 1987 arcade game with its unique pressure-sensitive buttons, through the revolutionary Street Fighter II arcade release in 1991, which boosted characters to 8 and focused on versus play, the enhanced Street Fighter II in 1992, making the Four Kings playable, and the high-speed Street Fighter II Turbo later that year. The main event is a big reveal. Look! This is the Mega Drive version of Street Fighter II. Multiple screenshots are presented, showcasing the Genesis sample version. You see, the character select screen with the world map and all 12 characters. Gameplay shots featuring Ryu, E. Honda, Dhalsim, Bison, Chun-Li, Zangief, Guile, Balrog, Blanka, and Sagat, across various iconic stages. The text notes that while this is a sample, and some elements like names and menus are currently based on the overseas Genesis version and still being refined, graphics, sound, the core gameplay feel is spot-on, described as exactly like Street Fighter II. It also highlights that this version boasts more character patterns than the Super Famicom release, and includes new techniques specific to Street Fighter II. The anticipation for this port is clearly high, with the magazine suggesting it's something to genuinely look forward to. The next page continues the urgent special feature on Street Fighter II, focusing on the specifics of the Genesis port and revealing a competing version. It confirms that the Genesis version allows same character matches and includes new techniques, but the biggest difference from the original arcade or Super Famicom ports is the ability to play as the four bosses: Bison, Vega, Sagat, and Balrog. These characters are described as incredibly powerful. A major highlight is the return of the bonus stages, specifically the car stage and the drum stage, which were absent in the Super Famicom version due to memory constraints. The article considers this a welcome addition for fans. Regarding the overall quality of the port, the current sample suggests the control feel and character movements are quite close to the arcade, with more character animations confirmed compared to the Super Famicom version. Furthermore, the page emphasizes the necessity of a 6-button controller for the best experience, noting that Sega's 3-button pad is being phased out in favor of the 6-button standard. Finally, it announces that a PC Engine version of Street Fighter II is also planned for a June release, surprisingly appearing on a large 20-megabit HumaCard. While the PC Engine screenshots show good graphics, the sound is noted as potentially weaker than expected. A 6-button pad is also slated for release for the PC Engine. The Super Famicom version is briefly shown again for comparison. Capcom is entering the Sega Mega Drive market, following Konami's lead. A Q&A reveals Capcom's reasons. They support beneficial hardware and have a long-standing positive relationship with Sega from the arcade scene. They are releasing Street Fighter II, a highly anticipated title, emphasizing its processing to match hardware performance. The game will include popular features like Versus Mode, with operational methods largely unchanged from the arcade version. Sound quality is being optimized, and while some ending omissions might occur, game balance is actively being adjusted. Challenges included incorporating features within cartridge limitations, such as playable boss characters. The 6-button pad offers the best arcade experience, although regular pads will also work. Capcom is also focusing on future releases, considering the hardware's characteristics. Several of their arcade titles have already been ported to the Mega Drive, and readers' favorites are being showcased, hinting at upcoming releases. This page announces the arrival of the Mega Drive 2 and the Mega CD2, set to launch on April 23rd at surprisingly low prices. 12,800 yen for the Mega Drive 2 console, and 29,800 yen for the Mega CD2 unit. This represents a significant price drop compared to the original models, achieved through a complete redesign focused on cost performance. The new consoles are fully compatible with existing Mega Drive and Mega CD software and peripherals. The Mega Drive 2 features a more compact design, includes a 6-button controller as standard, and notably removes the headphone jack and volume slider. The Mega CD2 transitions to a front-loading CD mechanism and is also more compact. Alongside the new consoles, 2 new peripherals are launching: the Sega Tap and the Sega Mouse. The Sega Tap allows up to 8 players with compatible games like J.League Pro Striker, featuring a convenient selector function. The Sega Mouse offers standard mouse functionality, along with a unique trackball feature that acts as the AC buttons, useful for certain game genres like RPGs, with the title Switch mentioned as a way to experience it. Sega is clearly pushing forward with new, more accessible hardware and expanding the multiplayer and control options for the system. The Genesis Chapter 2 and Sega CD2, designed with a unified aesthetic, are smaller versions of their predecessors. The Genesis Chapter 2 removes the headphone jack and volume slider. The Sega CD2 features an eject button and a Sonic-themed startup screen. Compatibility is maintained. The new units work interchangeably with the originals. Despite size differences, any combination is possible. The Genesis Chapter 2 simplifies rear connections, removing the modem and headphone ports, but adding stereo sound via a separate cable. The CD side connection remains similar. A price comparison highlights the Genesis Chapter 2 Sega CD2 bundle's cost-effectiveness at 42,600 yen, offering good value compared to other 16-bit CD-ROM systems, though slightly pricier than the PC Engine Duo. This page features an urgent report on Gunstar Heroes, a horizontal scrolling action game from Sega, and the new development team, Treasure, is described as a masterpiece, promising to satisfy players deeply, and is hailed as a true asset with Sega's new hardware announcements. The article expresses astonishment at the sheer number of dazzling effects, and declares that gaming is entering an age of technical prowess thanks to titles like this. It highlights the game's simple yet incredibly smooth action, mentioning massive multi-jointed bosses, surprising developments, and an abundance of technical skill that is truly impressive. The exhilarating feeling of constantly defeating enemies is likened to the satisfying rush of arcade games. The page includes screenshots showcasing the intense action, various bosses, and character moves like throwing, sliding, and hanging. It also features photos of the Treasure team and an interview snippet with their president, emphasizing their focus on creating impactful, original games that prioritize gameplay over sales, aiming to satisfy true game lovers. This page features an urgent report covering 2 significant RPG titles from Sega. First, we have Phantasy Star IV, The End of the Millennium, providing new story details. It appears the main characters are awaited in the town of Piata, where a biomonster outbreak is causing trouble on the planet Motavia. Tasked with investigating the cause, this premise feels notably similar to events in Phantasy Star II. The report introduces 2 new characters: Lila Blangwen, a hunter who resembles Amy from PS2, and Han Marley, a scholar reminiscent of Hugh from PS2, a fitting connection for a game bridging the gap between the earlier titles. Screenshots show the town and the interior of the Motavia Academy. Following this is information on Surging Aura, set for a July release. Sega is pushing hard into the domestic RPG market, and this title is the first of several major releases planned, aiming to follow the legacy of the Phantasy Star and Shining series. A key highlight is the real-time combat and an innovative spell casting system. Unlike traditional turn-based spells, casting time is directly tied to a spell's power, and the actual text of the spell appears on screen while casting. This allows players to see what enemies are preparing in real time and react, even casting defensive spells instantly. The artwork features designs by Mutsumi Inomata, known for notable anime work. This unique system is a fresh take on RPG magic. This page presents an urgent report on Victor Entertainment's first original title, Kyo Flying Squadron, coming to the Sega CD. The game is described as a humorous shooting/action game set in the Bakumatsu era, featuring comical characters causing chaos. The main characters introduced are Reimi, a girl in a bunny outfit who rides her pet dragon, Pochi, the player's controllable dragon mount, Drive, Pawn, Doctor, a seemingly villainous raccoon-like character, and the 7 lucky gods who appear to be his underlings. The game features a unique blend of historical setting and absurdity. Screenshots show side-scrolling gameplay, with Rami riding Pochi, battling various enemies and bosses in colorful environments reminiscent of the Edo period and more fantastical settings. A section highlights interviews with the development team, director, game designer, programmer, musician, who discuss their passion for creating a fun shooting game and their approach to the unique setting, characters, and music, emphasizing the team's effort to create something enjoyable and distinctly Japanese. The game is scheduled for a summer release. This page kicks off a new release scramble, previewing several upcoming games for the system. Featured prominently are Slap Fight and Marble Madness, alongside mentions of Golden Axe, 2i, Eliminate Down, Top Pro Golf, and LHX Attack Chopper. The Slap Fight section highlights this long-awaited shooter from Tengen, noting it includes both arcade and special modes. While there are some minor changes to difficulty and the display layout compared to the original, the core gameplay remains faithful, which is a relief for fans. The reviewer encourages players to hone their skills while waiting. Screenshots showcase different environments and enemy types from the game. Following that is the Marble Madness section, announcing the port of the popular Atari puzzle game. It excitingly confirms support for a mouse or trackball, which is releasing around the same time as the game, promising an authentic control feel. The reviewer seems very positive about this, stating there are no complaints. Screenshots illustrate the unique isometric levels, featuring the rolling marble navigating tricky paths, enemies, and obstacles. The levels are described as varied, with jump points and moving hazards. This page continues the new release scramble section, diving into previews for several more upcoming games. First up is Golden Axe 2 Eyes, billed as the ultimate remake of the popular series. Development is progressing well, and this preview highlights the Combine Magic feature, which is unique to two-player simultaneous play. Screenshots showcase the side-scrolling action and a powerful combined magic effect. Next is Eliminate Down, a long-awaited horizontal shooter from Softvision. The reviewer notes the recent scarcity of shooting games and highlights this title as an original work. It's described as an orthodox horizontal shooter, but notably, it features an option, Support Unit, equipped from the start. The graphics are mentioned as having a grotesque feel, possibly appealing to fans of games like Biohazard Battle, likely the Xenog comparison. Screenshots show intense shooting action against various enemies and bosses. Finally, Top Pro Golf 2 is featured, announcing the sequel to the original game. The title boasts double the holes, 36, and significantly increases the player count for Versus mode, now supporting up to 4 players. The game promises a more realistic golf simulation, with refined details, like green undulation. Various modes, including tournament and match play, are confirmed, along with password support for tournaments. Screenshots show the familiar golf interface and course views, emphasizing the game's simulation depth. This page continues the new release scramble with more previews. First up is 7-Up Spot, based on the 7-Up soft drink character. This platformer from Virgin Games has Spot collecting items and rescuing friends while avoiding enemies. The review highlights Spot's various playful animations, like using a yo-yo or taking off his sunglasses, adding to the character game charm. Next is LHX Attack Chopper, a realistic helicopter simulator featuring polygon graphics. It allows players to select between the LHX or the Apache helicopter and tackle missions by destroying enemy targets on the map. The preview notes the ability to switch camera views, including from inside the cockpit and from the enemy's perspective, enhancing the simulation aspect and difficulty. Finally, a section on new title leaked information covers upcoming releases. There's excitement building around Sonic 3, developed with a strong staff at SOA, and the official announcement of Virtual Racing. The popular manga series, Yu Yu Hakusho, is also getting a game adaptation packed with various elements. Streets of Rage 2 is confirmed to be coming to the Game Gear soon with 2-player support. It seems Konami is also preparing to announce a new action game next month, suggesting the Mega Drive/Genesis lineup is getting quite busy and exciting. This page dives into Rocket Knight Adventures, Konami's eagerly anticipated action game. It highlights the unique hero, Sparkster the Opossum, and his distinctive abilities. The game is a side-scrolling action title featuring Sparkster's versatile moves, including his rocket-powered dash attack, the ability to swing from things with his tail, and flying. The preview includes details like the game being 60% complete and a planned summer release. An interview section reveals there are a total of 7 stages, with the initial level designed to be relatively easy to help players get accustomed to the controls. It also touches upon the combat, noting that while Sparkster uses his sword, the rocket attack is crucial for progression and breaking obstacles. The sword itself can also deal significant damage. The developers proudly state that exhilaration is the concept. It's our masterpiece. Screenshots show Sparkster in action, battling enemies, including a boss fight against a tank in front of a cool waterfall backdrop, and utilizing his rocket attack to fly through environments with destructible elements. Another image shows Sparkster facing multiple smaller enemies within what appears to be a castle environment, emphasizing the game's dynamic combat. The game is a confident showing from Konami, promising fast-paced and exciting action. This page continues the deep dive into Rocket Knight Adventures, delving further into the gameplay and design philosophy. The interview covers details like the decision to use a continue system instead of passwords, fitting for an action game. It thoroughly explains Sparkster's signature rocket attack, controlled by charging the A button and releasing with or without a direction for a dash or spin attack, respectively. The developer highlights the game's core concept of exhilaration, aiming to replicate the thrilling feeling of a jet coaster ride through dynamic level design and attacks. Screenshots showcase the variety of stages, from aerial combat high above the clouds and fast-paced horizontal scrolling sections, to battles inside airships, a rumored jet coaster sequence, and boss encounters like a mid-boss hanging below and a large battleship captain. The game's visual quality and character designs are praised, with the developer expressing confidence in their staff's programming and artistic skill rather than relying on special hardware chips. A photo of the developer, Mr. Kurita, is included, underscoring the passion behind the project. The next page features a preview of Xcase, a vertical and horizontal scrolling shoot-'em-up from Wolf Team. The article highlights the game's stunning graphics, praising the detailed character animations and visual effects, suggesting they are even more impressive in motion than in the screenshots provided. It reassures readers that despite the focus on visuals, the gameplay is solid, being developed by the team behind the acclaimed title Granada. The page includes multiple screenshots showcasing the mech-based combat in various environments, from futuristic cities to desert landscapes and what appears to be an underwater level. A story section introduces the setting, a future where a terminal from space leads to the formation of the Earth Management Bureau, which is then challenged by the rebellious Ozywise. The protagonist, Kane, volunteers to fight Ozywise, who is targeting Nina and Narisu. Character illustrations for Kane, Nina, and Ozywise are also shown, typical of Wolf Team's character-driven approach. This looks like a graphically impressive SHT with a decent story hook, exactly what you'd expect from Wolf Team around this time. This page details the controls and weapons system for Xcase. The main objective is to destroy all enemy targets. The game features a radar at the top of the screen to show enemy positions. It highlights that simply advancing isn't enough. Strategic use of weapons and equipment is key to victory. The article emphasizes the game's compatibility with the 6-button controller, a significant feature, and mentions potential XYZ button mapping for bike controls. Weapons are primarily carried by auxiliary units, the upper bike, and the Forge air carrier. Docking with these units allows you to cycle through equipped weapons using the B button. Special weapons consume power energy, displayed on a meter. This energy can be recharged by absorbing light, making bright areas advantageous. The page previews several special weapons, including Bomb, Thunder, Fire, Metal Bird, Buster, and Wide Beam, each with distinct effects shown in screenshots. Standard attacks use the A and C buttons, allowing you to fire left or right, and also controlling your facing direction. Special weapons are fired with the B button, but only in the direction you are currently facing, so you need to adjust your aim with A-C first. When riding the bike, A and C also fire left or right, and, interestingly, the bike shots automatically home in on enemies. The light energy recovery system means navigating dark environments like caves or night stages requires careful energy management. This page is a glowing review of Xcrancer, known internationally as Xcase, focusing on its impressive technical achievements. It quickly states that while the previous page covered the basics, this article delves into the many amazing aspects of the game, especially those not obvious from static screenshots. Xcrancer's graphics are highlighted as particularly noteworthy, boasting the use of advanced programming like shadow mode and highlight mode to achieve a simultaneous color display of 128 colors, double the MegaDrive's standard 64. Screenshots demonstrate this with realistic water effects featuring reflections and highly detailed metallic structures in boss areas. The review also praises the character's exceptionally smooth and elaborate movement, citing details like scattering leaves when falling or dust kicking up from vernier boosts. The backgrounds are equally lauded for their realism and depth, utilizing complex programming to create environments that appear almost three-dimensional and move like video, showcasing intricate wall designs. Finally, the developers themselves contribute a brief message, describing the game as a passion project for dedicated players, filled with unique ideas and standing apart from previous titles. This X-Case review highlights amazing 128-color graphics, fluid character movement, and highly detailed, seemingly 3D backgrounds using advanced techniques. This page features the BeepMD section, opening with a message about springtime new encounters and encouraging experienced users to help newcomers via postcards. The main focus is this month's editorial, titled Poledrum Project Plan, discussing the potential of laser-active and poledrum games based on reader submissions. The feedback explores ideas beyond traditional genres, suggesting adventure games, RPGs, educational software for language and history, and games based on popular movies, highlighting interactivity. Specific examples mentioned include a game featuring the Japanese comedy duo Downtown and the laser-active title Starfighters, with requests to port such video-intensive games to the Mega Drive. Readers discuss the importance of developer expertise to create compelling experiences, arguing that simply using natural images or CG isn't enough. They also note that laser-active feels more like a high-priced AV machine for adults than a typical game console, but acknowledge its potential to offer realistic visuals unlike polygon-based home console games. In the How About Pioneer section, Pioneer's development team thanks readers for their feedback and confirms plans to develop new, high-quality software utilizing natural images and new technology, collaborating with third parties. The July issue's theme box proposes porting a specific game, referencing a dash move, to the Mega Drive, indicating a strong reader desire for that title on the platform. Overall, the feedback shows excitement for the potential of new media like Reldrum, while also expressing concerns about the hardware's cost and practical uses, especially among younger users. This page features the BeepMD Users Voice section, where readers share their thoughts on Sega Mega Drive and Mega CD games. One new MD user expressed enjoyment with Shining Force, praising its battle scenes and character details. Another reader highlighted the popularity of arcade gun shooting games like Steel Gunner and Lethal Enforcers, suggesting the Mega Spider light gun should use a mouse interface for better accuracy and urging Sega to capitalize on the genre's potential. Feedback also touched upon the Mega CD, with a user questioning the high price of its software compared to ROMs, despite the lower production cost of CDs, feeling that this negates the platform's advantage. Another reader offered thoughts on game difficulty, suggesting Sega should consider making titles more accessible for beginners or provide better explanations within games. Regarding Sega's strategy, one user preferred quick arcade ports to delayed, identical Mega Drive versions, emphasizing the importance of releasing games sooner while utilizing the console's strengths. Another commented on the reception of Sonic 2, suggesting its Americanized style might have contributed to it not being a bigger hit in Japan. The lower section displays reader-submitted illustrations, featuring characters like Blaze Fielding from Streets of Rage, artwork resembling Phantasy Star characters, Rystar, the Ninja Warriors, and Poison from Final Fight, submitted by users from various locations and ages. This page features more insights from Sega fans in the BeepMD section. Users discuss various topics, including suggestions for localizing games like Sonic for different markets, and expressing regret over the closure of the game library, proposing ways to preserve or integrate its unique content, perhaps bundled with game music creds. There's passionate feedback on wrestling games, with demands for titles featuring real-life wrestlers, their theme music, tournament modes, and improved mechanics, specifically leveraging the Mega Drive's potential for a 6-button controller for fighting games. A significant focus is placed on the Phantasy Star series, with a large section dedicated to fans expressing a strong desire for a Mega Drive version of the original Phantasy Star, even including a screenshot of the game. Readers debate whether it should be a remake or a port, suggesting improvements to the story and events, while emphasizing the critical importance of keeping the original, beloved music unchanged. The enduring affection for the series, particularly the first game, is palpable. The bottom section displays reader-submitted illustrations, featuring fan art of characters from various Sega titles, including Phantasy Star, Puyo Puyo, and potentially others like Aleste. This page delves into the cultural aspects of Sega fandom in the BeepMD section. humorously illustrating the contrast between a dedicated Mega Driver and a casual free-spirit gamer through descriptions of their appearances, gear, and habits. The BeepMD Talk section shares insights from readers, including their top 3 entry points into gaming, the puzzle game Puyo Puyo, immersive VR experiences in arcades, and the clear screen of the Game Gear. Readers also discuss other titles, like Raiden and Streets of Rage 2, with one reader noting that the manual for Streets of Rage 2 seemed to be printed on recycled paper. The side panel announces a giveaway featuring an item called the Yubi Blue Worker. Manga illustrations visually echo some of the game discussions, showing characters related to Raiden and Streets of Rage 2. A highlighted urgent article passionately defends the Mega CD game Woodstock Funky Horror Band. Despite negative player feedback comparing it to a coaster, the article argues the game holds value because of its connection to the historically significant 1969 Woodstock Music Festival, a pivotal event for rock music fans, and includes a photo of the original festival crowd. The page concludes by listing the winners of prizes awarded for reader contributions. This page delves into the sound design of games, specifically focusing on the popular puzzle title, Puyo Puyo. An interview with the game's composer, Mats, reveals insights into the creation of the catchy music, including quirky details like finding inspiration in unexpected places such as the bathroom. The page even includes a section of the actual sheet music for the iconic theme of Puyo Puyo. Beyond the main feature, readers contribute their own lyrics for game music, with one example providing words set to a tune reminiscent of the Lava Reef Zone from Sonic the Hedgehog 2. The page also includes various reader feedback sections, sharing opinions on games, hardware, and other general comments from the magazine's audience, along with sections for submitted illustrations and comics. This page features the Sonic Communications section, presenting a production diary from Hiroyuki Takahashi and Champ Takahashi. They reflect on the demanding schedule for their current project, referred to as SF, and Gaiden 2, Side Story 2. They praise the game's character design and original artwork, created by renowned artists Hiroshi Kajiyama and Kensuke Suzuki, noting the soul and passion evident in their work despite their busy schedules. The page also gives a glimpse into the Sonic development room, described as the birthplace of many masterpieces. While corporate secrets prevent a full reveal, it's mentioned to be full of psyacs, though lacking the reporter's preferred Macintosh. A unique rule is highlighted: shoes must be removed at the entrance, a sign of Sonic's etiquette. There's also a separate hard room, packed with reference materials and consoles like the Mega Drive, Mega CD, Neo Geo, and PC Engine Duo. Amusingly, this room transforms into a Street Fighter II training ground during lunch breaks. The developers appear busy but are working diligently, asking readers for their support. This page features several columns and reader contributions. The Taguchi Dogen's Dojo of Proverbs section appears to be a conversation or opinion piece between Takeuchi and Dogen, filled with banter and commentary, referencing topics like being a regular contributor and the challenges of deadlines, alongside a photo celebrating a Takeuchi Sensei Award. Several small panels across the middle offer brief illustrated messages and calligraphy from readers. The new employee Okada Hanako's old diary provides a personal glimpse, mentioning receiving a unique doll from a known artist and participating in a TV program focused on Final Fantasy V for the Super Famicom, while also dealing with the common struggle of pollen allergies. Finally, the Sonic Communication Mania section continues the connection with readers and fans. It specifically calls for submissions, especially illustrations related to the Shining Force universe. Excitingly for fans, it mentions characters from the Shining Force Gaiden titles on the Game Gear, hinting at a desire for these characters to potentially appear in Shining Force 2 on the Mega Drive. The section showcases several impressive reader illustrations featuring various Shining Force characters, demonstrating the passion of the fanbase. This page announces Polydor, a major record company, is entering the game industry with a new label called Sandstorm. Their first release is the large-scale RPG, Allshark, for the Mega CD. The article features an interview discussing Polydor's motivation, highlighting the game's appeal, and mentioning the development is being handled in collaboration with teams like CRC Research Institute. Polydor's history as a successful record company is also briefly detailed. The page includes a development update on Allshark, stating that the field and battle sequences are nearing completion. Several screenshots provide a glimpse of the game, showing the top-down view for exploration and battles, alongside character portraits displaying stats like level, PP, and MP. The character designs appear unique, and the caption notes that the character Shoko will feature voice acting, a capability of the Mega CD. Overall, it details a significant record label's ambitious entry into the gaming market with a promising RPG title. This page continues the interview about Polydor's new Sandstorm game label and their first Mega CD title, Allshark, featuring Hideo Hori, the producer, and Hiroyuki Suzuki, head of sales. They discussed the development process, highlighting the addition of 13 new visual scenes created with input from the original author, Yutaka Ijima, and Akira Kimura, emphasizing the unique touch of the original creator. Leveraging Polydor's strength as a record company, they also stressed the importance of high-quality sound, employing renowned musicians. Their goal is to create lasting entertainment experiences, likening their ambition to figures like George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, aiming for games that sell well long after release, and eventually establishing Sandstorm's reputation with original masterpieces. Hori playfully encourages readers to buy Allshark. The page also introduces the Sandstorm Pick, a special feature on the Beautiful Girl unit, Akemi, Emi, and Nahomi, consisting of Akemi, Emi, and Nahomi. This unit is tied to Sandstorm and its projects. Akemi provides the voice for the heroine Shoko in Allshark, and Nahomi is mentioned as singing on the soundtrack for another game, Bardish Beast 2-1. Photos of the three young women are displayed, linking them directly to the label's venture into entertainment beyond just games. This page features the first issue of Compile's own newsletter, the No Cone Press, dated April 8, 1993. The big news is the official announcement and decision to release GG-LS2 for the Game Gear, with the headline proclaiming it's definitely happening this time. The game is detailed as a vertical scrolling shooter, evolving from the first GG-LSD, featuring significant gameplay changes including new power-ups and interesting sub-weapons like a boomerang weapon. The worldview is described as a sci-fi setting with vague, parasitic enemies, visually reminiscent of LSD-2 on the MSX, leaning towards a cyber-visual style. Development is underway, with Taken, the main programmer from Robo Aleste, working on the game. The protagonist is Alice, a new character who appears to be the pilot, joined by Ellen O'Lear from Compile Fighter. An illustration of Alice is shown, noted as being from GG Aleste 2070. The game is planned to have at least 6 stages. A side note mentions that background details for the original GG Aleste and secrets about the Wizen family might be revealed later, and hints at character details for Alice and Ellen O'Lear, with Alice described as a genius. This page kicks off with a special report questioning if the game Madu Monogatari 123, the RPG series that originated characters like Arle and Carbuncle, who later starred in the hugely popular Puyo Puyo, is being ported to the Game Gear. The article notes, Madu Monogatari was a big hit on PC 98. A screenshot shows the first-person dungeon view and character portrait typical of the series. Above right is a short comic strip titled, Great Tea Islands Great Days. The bottom section announces the grand finale of the Puyo Puyo King contest, stating it finished successfully after 3 months with significant participation. While there are detailed lists of top players and scores from multiple rounds, the key takeaway is the contest's popularity and conclusion, culminating in the crowning of the overall Puyo Puyo King champion. Comic panels related to the contest, featuring Puyo Puyo characters like Satan, are also included, seemingly illustrating the final challenge. This page is an advertisement for Santa, a Sega specialty store, proudly declaring all products include tax. It kicks off with exciting news for fans, confirming the release of Street Fighter II in June, alongside Final Fight and Wolfang Legend in April. The store offers a massive selection of games and hardware across Sega platforms. A special recommendation corner features bundle deals, while a new releases section lists recent titles like Splatterhouse 3. The core of the page is an extensive lineup of games for the Mega Drive, spanning various genres from action to RPGs, including classics like Sonic the Hedgehog, Shining Force, and Streets of Rage. There's also a dedicated section for Game Gear, listing hardware and games, and a corner for Mark II-I and Master System software, noting the availability of overseas versions playable via an adapter. The page details mail order information, including shipping fees and payment methods like cash on delivery. This page serves as a special appendix, celebrating the upcoming release of major fighting games on the Mega Drive, prominently featuring Fatal Fury and Street Fighter II. The artwork showcases characters from Fatal Fury, highlighting the fighting game boom that has swept the industry, with Street Fighter II identified as its primary catalyst. The text discusses the current state of the fighting game genre, and expresses anticipation for these arcade hits arriving on the home console. It mentions a thorough analysis of Fatal Fury, and a general overview of the fighting game landscape will be covered within this appendix. Screenshots display various fighting titles, including Fatal Fury, Art of Fighting, Dragon Ball Z, and Street Fighter II. There's also a shot from what appears to be Final Fight, or a similar beat-em-up, and a screenshot from King of Fighters, the first round, actually, Fatal Fury Special on Game Gear, illustrating the breadth of the genre being discussed. The page reflects the excitement among players for these high-profile fighting titles, finally coming to the Mega Drive. The next page delves into the Mega Drive release of Fatal Fury, presenting it as an emergency launch, and providing a comprehensive comparison to the Neo Geo and Super Famicom versions. It highlights key differences that significantly impact gameplay. One major point is the implementation of the two-line battle system. While the Super Famicom version completely removed this feature, the Mega Drive version improves upon the Neo Geo original by allowing players to freely move between the foreground and background lines, adding a new layer of strategic depth that wasn't possible in other home versions. Another crucial difference discussed is the ease of performing special moves. The Mega Drive version features unlimited command input time, making special attacks incredibly simple to execute for anyone. This is presented as a welcome change compared to the much stricter timing on the Neo Geo and the notoriously difficult inputs required on the Super Famicom. The page also includes a column reflecting on Fatal Fury's success relative to Street Fighter II, acknowledging its different gameplay balance but emphasizing the unique satisfaction derived from landing powerful special techniques. Screenshots from all three versions illustrate these comparisons. This page dives deeper into the features of the Mega Drive version of Fatal Fury. A major highlight is the ability to use all characters in battles, including same character matches with palette swaps, a significant improvement over the Neo Geo and Super Famicom versions which had limitations on playable characters in versus mode. A new friend intrusion mode is introduced, where a comm-controlled character can suddenly challenge the player during the single-player champion battle, even allowing for brother versus brother matches between Terry and Andy. The special move system sees further refinements from the version discussed on the previous page. While inputs are simplified, some specific moves for characters like Duck King and Richard Meyer that were missing in the Super Famicom version are included here. Max's Tornado Upper Command is noted as being particularly simplified for easier execution. You can even control the final boss, Geese Howard, for epic clashes. However, due to memory constraints, the Mega Drive version is not without its cuts. Two characters, Billy Kane and Hua Jai, are absent, and the fun arm wrestling bonus stage from the original is completely removed, which the reviewer notes is regrettable. The page also briefly touches upon the continued popularity of fighting games like Street Fighter II and teases the upcoming Fatal Fury 2, highlighting the satisfying feel of executing powerful special moves like Terry's Power Geyser. It sets the stage for the next page, promising a look at the tournament to decide the strongest man. This page jumps right into the main event, the Southtown Strongest Fighter Tournament, hosted by the infamous Geese Howard. Held on April 23, 1993, this annual event brings together the best fighters, and the page highlights the rising skill level year after year, noting the excitement around this year's participants, including the Bogard brothers and Joe Higashi. The page introduces the 8 main fighters who will battle it out: Terry Bogard and Callie Bogard, Joe Higashi, Richard Meyer, Duck King, Tung Fu Rue, Michael Max, and Raiden. Small portraits showcase each character, along with a note on their signature moves. It then lays out the rules of the tournament. Matches are best of 3 rounds, with a 90-count time limit per round. Victory is awarded to the fighter with more health if time runs out, with draws occurring if health is equal, or in the case of a double knockout. Continues are limited to 3. Basic gameplay mechanics are also explained, covering punch, kick, throw, line movement between the foreground and background, guarding, and the execution of special moves. The distinction between close and far-range punches and kicks is noted, along with directional inputs for throws and line movement. Screenshots show the character select, stage select, Pow Pow Cafe is visible, and the start of a match, including a satisfying "you win" perfect screen. The page serves as an excellent introduction to the main event, and the core gameplay of the Mega Drive version of Fatal Fury. This page delves into the details of Entry Number 1, Terry Bogard, in the Fatal Fury tournament. It highlights his background as the adopted son of Jeff Bogard, using a blend of inherited Kenpo and self-taught martial arts, driven by the goal of avenging his father's assassination. Terry is presented as a versatile fighter, strong at all ranges, with his power moves like the burn knuckle being his true strength. The guide offers strategic advice, suggesting the effective use of jump high kicks and special moves like the crack shoot, noting its invincibility frames during jump attacks. For opponents facing Terry, it recommends guarding his burn knuckle while crouching, and using jumping attacks to counter his power wave. The core strategy recommended for playing as Terry is a wait tactic, inputting the command for burn knuckle or crack shoot, and reacting to the opponent's moves. Screenshots illustrate his special moves and basic attacks at different ranges. The page also includes a memo, noting that Fatal Fury is the cool overseas title for the game. The next page introduces Entry No. 2, and Fatty Bogard, Terry's brother, and rival in Fatal Fury. It details his background, highlighting his training in the Japanese martial art of Kopao to overcome his physique and ultimately defeat Terry. The page emphasizes Andy's destructive Kopao techniques, stemming from his small frame. Key strategies for using Andy revolve around his powerful and easy-to-use special move, the Zane Ken, Shadow Cutter. Players are advised to use it frequently, especially after dashing forward, and to complement it with crouching attacks like the Serpent Kick for chip damage. Against Andy, the guide suggests evading his Zane Ken by line shifting and waiting for openings to counter. A warning is given about his crouching stance, which indicates he's ready to unleash a special move. The page also highlights a continuous Zane Ken technique, described as a powerful, almost exploitative move against opponents getting up. Screenshots illustrate these strategies and Andy's various special moves and basic attacks. The page confirms that the overseas version, Fatal Fury, uses different names for special moves. The next page introduces entry number 3, Joe Higashi, the fiery Muay Thai champion from Fatal Fury. His profile highlights his status as the youngest ever Muay Thai champion in Thailand. The guide notes that while powerful with moves like the Hurricane Upper and Tiger Kick, Joe is considered the most difficult of the three main characters to truly master, requiring skillful control to reach his potential. A key strategy emphasized is the effective use of his sliding kick, which can control the opponent and set up further attacks or throws. When facing Joe, the advice is to maintain distance to avoid his close-range power. The page showcases various screenshots demonstrating his basic attacks and special moves, including the powerful Hurricane Upper and Tiger Kick. Consistent with the information on the previous page regarding Andy Bogard, it is noted that the overseas version of Fatal Fury uses different names for the special techniques. Richard Meyer, a capoeira master from Fatal Fury, born in 1962, is also the manager of Southtown's Pow Pow Cafe. He enters the King of Fighters tournament to promote his art. Lacking formal tournament experience, his unpredictable capoeira is a formidable challenge. Players using Richard should focus on the Patriot rolling attack for range, and his strong special moves, like cracker shoot. Handstand kick is also effective in specific situations. To defeat Richard, use projectile attacks from a distance and avoid aerial combat. Richard's strategy centers on space control, with the Patriot rolling attack, and utilizing his special moves. The Spider Kick serves as his anti-air defense. Key moves include Patriot rolling attack, Spider Kick, double high kick, nipper kick, and handstand kick. Trivia: Terry likes video games / gourmet food, and Dee enjoys natto spaghetti, and Joe favors Enkolka music. This page features Duck King from Fatal Fury, described as a fighting rhythm machine and a dark horse in the tournament. The page details his background, including a past defeat by Terry Bogard, and his unique fighting style that blends street dance and martial arts. Duck King's strategy is highlighted, emphasizing his versatile moves like the headspin attack, flying high kick, and sliding kick. The headspin attack is noted as particularly useful as it can automatically evade a guard by shifting lines, making it a core offensive and defensive tool. Strategies for fighting against Duck King are also provided, recommending players counter his headspin attack and avoid aerial combat. Projectiles, such as Andy Bogard's Hishoken or Terry Bogard's Burn Knuckle, are suggested as effective methods to deal with him from a distance. Screenshots showcase his key moves including the cannonball attack, spin knuckle punch, sliding kick, flying high kick, headspin attack, and screw attack, along with command inputs. The sliding kick is described as having fewer recovery frames than others, encouraging its frequent use. A final memo notes that Fatal Fury features multiple endings in one P mode, with a special ending for completing the game on hard difficulty without using continues. This page features Tung Fu Rue from Fatal Fury, a legendary Tai Chi master, and the mentor of Terry and Didi Bogard. He is presented as a key figure, with a history potentially tied to the past of the Bogard brothers. His unique fighting style involves transforming, becoming larger and more powerful as he takes damage, and his special moves change accordingly. When using Tung Fu Rue, the strategy shifts depending on his size. While small, long-range energy wave attacks, Kikuken, and throws are recommended. Once transformed and large, aggressive use of his Hurricane Fist, Senpuken, and throws becomes crucial. Notably, Tung has the widest throw range of any character in the game, making it a powerful tool regardless of his size. Fighting against Tung requires different tactics. Against his small form, avoiding jumps is advised due to his effective counters. Crouching attacks and special moves are suggested. When he is large, waiting for openings after certain moves like his Hurricane Kick, Senpukyaku, to throw him is a key strategy. Blocking his flying kicks is also important. Screenshots illustrate some of his moves, including various normal attacks, throws like the Tomodi throw and knee throw, and special moves like the Hurricane Fist and Hurricane Kick. The page also includes a brief note mentioning the Fatal Fury anime adaptation and subtle differences from the game's story. This page features Michael Max from Fatal Fury 2, a former world heavyweight champion whose powerful tornado uppercut was banned in the boxing ring, leading him to street fighting. His style is pure boxing, focusing on powerful punches and aggressive rush tactics. Key strategies for playing as Max involve using footwork to close distance and overwhelm opponents with rapid punch combinations, especially after landing a fallen rock punch. His uppercut is noted as an effective anti-air move, and the low punch can knock opponents down, setting up further attacks. The tornado uppercut is his signature move, especially effective when cornering the opponent. When fighting against Max, the page advises caution against his tornado uppercut, particularly in IPE mode. Against his aggressive rush style, utilizing throws is a recommended tactic in comm matches. The page illustrates various basic and special moves, like the gas straight punch, uppercut, fallen rock punch, and tornado uppercut with screenshots, along with a sample 3-hit rush combo ending in the tornado uppercut. The bottom section confirms this is Fatal Fury 2, highlighting its arcade popularity and the inclusion of new boss characters playable in Versus mode. This page is dedicated to Raiden from Fatal Fury 2, detailing his transformation from a legitimate wrestler named Big Bear to a rule-breaking heel in the underground circuit after a betrayal. Despite being slightly powered down in the Mega Drive version compared to the arcade, he remains a formidable character with powerful single hits, though his speed makes close combat challenging. Key to playing Raiden is utilizing his special moves from a distance, especially the rocket attack, which is noted as incredibly powerful and capable of breaking an opponent's guard. Mastering moves like the rocket attack and poison mist is crucial. The poison mist, while effective for zoning and countering aerial attacks or even canceling some opponent specials, leaves him vulnerable if overused. When facing Raiden, being aware of the opening after he uses poison mist is essential for landing counterattacks. However, his aggressive use of the rocket attack from mid-range makes closing in risky. The page includes screenshots showcasing various moves like the poison mist, rocket attack, body press, dropkick, and different throws, illustrating his diverse arsenal. Raiden's unique style, blending powerful wrestling moves with the deceptive poison mist, makes him a significant threat. This page dives into the formidable Geese Howard, the mastermind behind the King of Fighters tournament and the proclaimed strongest fighter. He's featured here not just as a boss, but also as an unlockable character you can play, as in the Versus mode on the Mega Drive version of Fatal Fury, by inputting a special code. The content highlights Geese's fighting style, a blend of Western rational combat techniques and Eastern ki. As a playable character, his basic moves are considered top tier, and his special moves are incredibly potent. His Reppuken, Gale Fist, is compared to Terry's Power Wave, but is noted for its superior power and speed, making it a powerful zoning tool that can trap opponents at the edge of the screen. His Atemi Nage, counter throw, is emphasized as a core defensive technique. When facing Geese as a boss, the page suggests specific strategies, particularly exploiting openings after certain moves. It notes that his Gale Fist is a primary attack. The page includes several screenshots demonstrating Geese's key techniques, such as the sliding kick, Gale Fist, jump kick, Raging Storm, which seems to be a powerful upward move, Ataminage, and his throw. The overall impression is that Geese is a dominant character, whether you are playing as him or fighting against him. This page presents advanced techniques for intermediate and advanced players looking to conquer the versus mode in Fatal Fury on the Mega Drive. Moving beyond basic patterns used in the single-player game, the guide emphasizes strategies crucial for facing human opponents. It kicks off by highlighting the importance of defensive techniques, particularly how to safely recover after being knocked down, a key difference compared to fighting the AI. Next, it underscores the significance of throws, noting that human players rely heavily on them, and mastering your character's throwing range is vital. The page even provides a quick reference for the throwing ranges of different characters, like Terry and Didi, Joe, Richard, Michael, and Raiden. Finally, it delves into effective combination attacks using special moves, showcasing 4 specific examples. These include a combo for Terry that targets opponents as they get up, often starting with a power wave followed by a power knuckle. Another technique explained is the use of command pre-input during jumps to execute moves like Joe's Hurricane Upper immediately upon landing. Joe also features in a section on exploiting openings with a tiger kick leading into a throw, dubbed the Tiger Special. The page concludes with a challenging but highly effective 4-hit combination for Terry, known as the Terry Special, which involves a sequence of kicks and ends with his Power Slam throw. Screenshots throughout the page visually demonstrate these techniques. This page evaluates the Mega Drive's fighting game library. Initially, the system struggled to compete with its popular beat-em-ups, such as Streets of Rage. However, the arrival of titles like Fatal Fury and Street Fighter II Special Champion Edition significantly improved the outlook. The article catalogs available and upcoming games, categorized into beat-em-up and versus fighting genres. Beat-em-ups include classics like Golden Axe and Streets of Rage 2. The fighting game section features titles such as Pit Fighter, Fatal Fury, surprisingly well received, and the highly anticipated Street Fighter II port, described as a direct conversion. Each game entry is accompanied by brief commentary and screenshots, offering a visual guide to the Mega Drive's fighting and action game offerings. This page shifts focus to fighting games on platforms other than the Mega Drive, examining the landscape on the PC Engine, Super Famicom, and in the arcades. The article notes that while arcade fighting games, driven by hits like Street Fighter II, are at a peak, there's a feeling the genre might be reaching a turning point. For home consoles outside the Mega Drive, the situation varies. On the PC Engine, the magazine notes a surprising lack of fighting games despite the console's capabilities, though it highlights titles like the Kung Fu, Fighting Street, and Vigilante. A significant upcoming title is the port of Street Fighter II. The Super Famicom, Super NES, however, is presented as having a strong fighting game scene, benefiting from popular arcade ports and original characters integrated into series like Final Fight 2. Upcoming games mentioned include Ranma 1/2, Bakuretsu Rantoin, and Dragon Ball Z, Super Butoden. Looking at the arcades, the page touches on the history of fighting games, from early titles like Karate Champ to the impact of Final Fight and the dominance of Street Fighter II. Notable games shown include Art of Fighting and Street Fighter II Turbo. The future looks towards Capcom's Muscle Bomber, known internationally as Saturday Night Slam Masters. Overall, the page provides a snapshot of the vibrant, though perhaps evolving, fighting game genre across multiple platforms in the early 90s, showcasing how different systems were adapting to the genre's popularity. This page features various Konami content, starting with the Konami's Room column, which interacts with readers, mentioning receiving many postcards. The column touches on fan excitement for games like Sparkster, specifically the Mega Drive/Genesis version, and Rocket Knight Adventures. A significant article by Hideo Kojima delves into the secret history of MSX development, focusing on Metal Gear 2, Solid Snake, and SD Snatcher. He discusses the extensive research done for Metal Gear 2, including studying books, movies, and even handling model guns for realism. The article also reveals that the Metal Gear 2 team helped out when SD Snatcher's development faced issues. He highlights the game's ending, which uses the MSX boot screen as a poignant message to supporting users. The page also includes a section for reader consultations and showcases fan-submitted artwork featuring characters from Konami games like Castlevania, Twinbee, specifically Winbee, Rocket Knight Adventures, and Gambare Goemon. Finally, There's a photo introducing this month's Konami girls, who were present at a recent arcade show. This page features columns from third-party developers. Surdawave discusses their game Nostalgia 1907, reflecting on their output and thanking fans for their support, despite their reputation for making maniac and twisted games. They ponder the depth of adventure games, particularly on Crudrum, and the concept of interactivity. They hint at their next project, possibly titled Poppin'Land. An illustration shows a character from their company. The other column is the Game Arts Business Diary, offering a glimpse into their daily development life. They describe the cycle of finishing a project, like the potential Umemi, and brainstorming new ideas. They mention some humorous, failed concepts, and a plan for a Game Gear horizontal shooter tentatively called Super Beast King, featuring twin grandmas as enemies. They also reference popular games like Columns and Puyo Puyo, and include illustrations depicting their office life, including dealing with pollen season and the general fatigue of development. This page features columns from two Japanese game developers, Nichibutsu and Toaplan. First up is the Nichibutsu column, where Miu talks about their involvement in motorsports, specifically Formula One. They discuss the business side of Formula One, including sponsorship and the relationship between race results and product sales. The column poses a question to readers about who will win an upcoming race, and asks for their Fly One opinions, accompanied by a photo of a classic Fly One car and a driver. Below that is the Toaplan column, written as a humorous conversation between a master and his apprentice from their public relations team, the Kuhu brothers, whose caricatures are also shown. They chat about their column's return and touch on upcoming game releases. They mention the Mega Drive versions of Slap Fight and Snow Bros, noting that details like release dates and prices are still undecided. They also hype the Game Sound Museum CD for their arcade shooter Dog You Won, and recall readers playing VV and Knuckle Bash at events, commenting on how fun they are. This page features the 10th and final installment of the Climax Entertainment column, Climax Kingdom. The creators express surprise and dismay that the column is ending. They discuss the completion of development for Landstalker, and mention that while they have been celebrating, they are also busy with overseas releases. They confirm that the overseas version of Shining Force is scheduled for simultaneous release in America and Europe in May. The process involves extensive translation work from Japanese to English by the entire staff. They also note that the overseas version of Landstalker is planned for a fall release, suggesting the English versions are enjoyable and even useful for English study due to graphics changes. The page also highlights contributions from staff members whose content was cut due to the column's sudden cancellation. Farewell messages are included from Bosnia Miyazaki and Snatcher Hiroshita, who humorously expressed their disappointment at not being able to share all they wanted. The final section thanks readers for their support and announces the column's end, though it teases a new, more serious corner starting next time, featuring someone known as Kansai Power Explosions Nishian. A small box provides details for joining the Climax Crew fan club. This page brings us the final issue of Sims Communication. The main highlight is the breaking news announcing the results of the voice actor contest for the upcoming Genesis RPG, VE, Meteor Armor. They've cast talented voice actors for the main characters, including Toshiyuki Morikawa as Hivalgar and Megumi Hayashibara as Myunhee, along with other key roles like Rei-Fan, played by Maria Kawamura. The report from the recording studio notes the professionalism of the cast and confirms the recordings are complete, though the game's release is slightly delayed. The Sims Communication Mail Corner is also concluding with this issue. They share reader feedback, including opinions on release date announcements, and state they will only announce dates when they are completely finalized. Finally, there are results for a quiz corner related to the game Feng Yun ZH Meng Xiaocheng. Revealing the correct voice actors for that game were Megumi Hayashibara, Toshiyuki Morikawa, Chisa Yokoyama, and Honma Kaiko, and announcing the winners. While this is the last issue of the communication, Sims will continue to accept feedback. This page features the Sega Falcom Communication, Act 19, focusing on industry rumors surrounding the partnership. Several potential game developments are discussed in speech bubbles around a photo of director Yano. Rumors include details about YSIV, noting the basic scenario is handled by the Nihon Falcom president, leading to high expectations. For Super PL Analytics on Mega CD, it's speculated that it will heavily reflect the color palette of the well-received PC Engine 2 version. Development on Dai Senryaku is mentioned, with struggles noted regarding decisions for modern warfare units. The article also touches on Hyper Road Monarch, suggesting it's a thorough remake quite different from the original, although its specific use isn't clear. A mysterious title, Sister Sonic, is causing waves, with potential visuals coming soon and publicity materials being prepared, hinting it might be shown at the June toy show. The main text confirms that despite seeming quiet since announcing 5 titles, Sega Falcom is actively working behind the scenes, and the June toy show is highlighted as important. Finally, Director Yano's column offers a cynical perspective on the industry and broader business topics, discussing issues like the strong yen, the game market's relationship with the economy, and Japanese attitudes towards entertainment. This page features the serialized column by Jam Ojisan, titled, Experience is Better Than Youth, penned by Tozuka Izumi Kuwataka. The author discusses the changing landscape of game magazines and game evaluation. The column argues that game magazines can no longer solely rely on advertising revenue. It notes that while prioritizing manufacturer sales was common, the discerning eyes of users have driven a shift. The author highlights their own approach to evaluating games, which focuses on the passion and attitude demonstrated in the development process, rather than just technical merit or commercial potential. They contrast this with magazines that might be influenced by advertising or platform allegiance, referencing older stances like BeepMD's position on the Mega Drive, compared to those perhaps more focused on the NES market. The column also includes a call for readers to submit questions about the game industry, or specific games for Jam Ojizan to answer in future installments. The page shows a photo of the author and a stack of Japanese gaming magazines. This page features Eric C. Sedensky's column, Riveted, Game Experience Report, specifically episode X.11 titled, The Fun a Broken TV Taught Me. Eric, a 29-year-old consultant from Ohio with diverse hobbies including games, recounts his frustrating experience playing Evander Holyfield's Real Deal Boxing on a faulty television. The broken screen cropped the edges, making it difficult to see crucial elements like health bars or messages during gameplay. Despite the handicap, Eric found unexpected enjoyment in adapting to the limitations. He contrasts this with the intensity of Evander Holyfield's Real Deal Boxing, noting how critical precise timing and strategy are, mentioning that, unlike real boxing, just taking hits quickly leads to defeat. He highlights the game's realistic aspects, such as various techniques and knockouts. The column culminates with Eric purchasing a new TV specifically with a game mode, which drastically improved the visual clarity and overall experience, confirming the significant difference a proper display makes for gaming. The page includes illustrations depicting the frustration of playing on a bad screen, and a screenshot of Evander Holyfield's Real Deal Boxing. Agiki Nihiyaku predicts Sega's next-generation console will merge the Mega Drive and Mega CD, using CD-ROM exclusively to avoid cartridge limitations. The author anticipates a 32-bit CPU, possibly from Motorola or PowerPC, surpassing the 3DO and Marty in performance, potentially allowing emulation. The article stresses near-arcade perfect ports with a custom chip for graphics, sound, and video, including VHS-quality video capabilities with compression/decompression. Sega is expected to prioritize software profits. The console will be premium priced, around 70,000 to 80,000 yen. A concept image shows an integrated console with a CD drive, labeled 32-bit X4 Candelas, and controller storage. The author encourages Sega's innovation. This page dives into the realm of visual experiences beyond traditional games, highlighting a unique interactive book titled Drug Picture Book M's Code. Described as a drug picture book full of virtual feeling, it utilizes various visual tricks to engage the reader. The article introduces techniques like stereoscopic visuals, similar to Magic Eye, after-image visuals where images remain after looking away, transparent visuals revealed by holding the page to light, and hidden visuals akin to classic hidden pictures. It also touches on visuals that induce sensations of movement or psychological effects. Two examples of the book's visuals, Forest and Mystery Drawer, are shown, hinting at the book's puzzle-solving narrative. The staff commentary suggests the book offers a brain maze travel experience. Separately, the page features a segment from the Boston Club discussing old video content. This section focuses on the first Tiger Mask from 1981, comparing his speed and technique to contemporary wrestlers like Raijin and Ultimo Dragon. It notes that watching old footage reveals his incredible speed, an observation highlighted as perhaps more apparent now than before, and mentions a VHS release of his matches. This page features a report from the Sugimoto Laboratory, highlighting the game world of illusion, starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. The core of the page is an interview with entertainer Rie Sugimoto, conducted by an interviewer referred to as Meganekun. Sugimoto explains her choice of the game, mentioning its general appeal and her recent enjoyment of the Cinderella video. Despite not being a fervent Disney fan, they discuss her single visit to Disneyland. The conversation then shifts to the gameplay experience itself. After playing, Sugimoto comments on the charming animations and sounds of Mickey and Donald, noting that the game can be challenging even when playing solo. They focus on the two-player mode, where they experienced moments of accidental item sniping, but found that cooperation was key and led to many engaging scenarios. Sugimoto emphasizes that working together is a significant and enjoyable aspect of the game. Screenshots of World of Illusion are included alongside the interview. The page also includes a brief update on Sugimoto's recent activities, such as traveling for work and a family trip to a hot spring, and a summary section that highly recommends the game, especially for its fun and cooperative two-player mode. This page serves as a guide and the questionnaire for readers to provide feedback to the magazine staff. It instructs readers on how to fill out the questionnaire postcard, emphasizing using a black pen or pencil to fill in the bubbles for the multiple-choice questions. It also asks readers to write comments about the magazine and desired game ports on the postcard. The questionnaire covers several topics. 1. Demographics, gender, age, and occupation. 2. Ownership, number of Mega Drive games owned and what other gaming machines or consoles they possess. Listing systems like Mega Drive, Mega CD, Game Gear, and even competing platforms like Super Famicom, PC Engine, and others. 3. Reading habits, which computer/game magazines they read, providing a list of popular titles from the era, including Famitsu, V-Jump, and various Mega Drive-specific publications. 4. Magazine feedback, asking readers to list interesting and uninteresting articles from the current issue. 5. Opinions on new hardware, gauging reader reactions to the newly announced Mega Drive 2 and Mega CD 2, with options covering price, design, and perceived sales potential. 6. Desired games, asking readers to select up to 3 games they wish to purchase from a substantial list of upcoming or notable titles. This list includes many well-known games like Sonic the Hedgehog CD, Street Fighter II, Special Champion Edition, Phantasy Star IV, Road Rash 2, Rolling Thunder 3, Rocket Knight Adventures, and various titles appearing on the Genesis CD like Lunar, Eternal Blue, Eye of the Beholder, and Wing Commander, alongside numerous Japanese exclusive or less common titles. Finally, the page includes a section announcing the winners of the March issue's prize giveaway, listing the names and locations of individuals who won prizes such as Mega Drive software and t-shirts. This page kicks off the Mega Hot Menu Part 2 section, previewing upcoming and notable Mega Drive titles. Featured prominently is Koei's historical simulation, Taiko Rishiden, which chronicles the ascent of Toyotomi Hideyoshi from humble beginnings to becoming the Taiko. The game is a simulation, SLG, with a completion gauge showing 90%, scheduled for release in May. It's a single-player experience that emphasizes the player's career progression through various tasks beyond just combat. You'll start at the bottom, tackling menial jobs like working in the stables or gathering information. To gain access to more significant roles, such as participating in battles or strategic planning, you must diligently work to improve your rank and earn the trust of your lord, Oda Nobunaga, whose portrait is shown alongside Hideyoshi, his wife Nene, and Inaba Itetsu. The page highlights the struggle of these early stages, showing screenshots of diverse activities from training and learning to exploring different provinces. The message is clear. Rising through the ranks requires hard work and dedication before you're even allowed onto the battlefield. The sidebar lists other games covered in this section, including J.League Pro Striker, Ultraman, Desert Strike, Megalomania, Maten no Sumetsu, Kishi Densetsu, PGA Tour Golf 2, James Bond 007, The Duel, and Snow Brothers. This page dives into J.League Pro Striker, a highly anticipated soccer title for the Sega Mega Drive, marked as 100% complete and ready for release. The big news here is the game features all the real teams and players from the J.League, a significant draw for fans. Beyond the realism, the game offers a variety of modes to keep players engaged. There's a quick pre-match mode perfect for jumping straight into a game, and even supports 2 players, either competing or cooperating. The main event is the J.League mode, where you pick your favorite team and play through a full league season against the other 9, with the ability to save after each match. For those who enjoy tournaments, the Cup mode lets you set up knockout competitions with either 4 or 8 teams, and it boasts support for up to 16 players by having multiple players control one team. The magazine highlights the accurate player data, even showcasing the stats for the legendary Kazu Miura. You can select your team using a visual map interface. Overall, the preview conveys a sense of excitement, emphasizing the thrill of playing with real J.League stars and enjoying the game's multiple modes, especially with friends. This page previews J.League Pro Striker, featuring real teams and players, with League, Cup, and pre-match modes for up to 16 players. This page dives deeper into the gameplay of J.League Pro Striker, focusing on its realistic movements and immersive audio. It explains the controls in detail. The direction key moves the marked player. A is for shooting, B for a short pass, and C for a long pass. Combine B and C for a chip kick. Without the ball, A performs a sliding tackle, while B and C execute a shoulder tackle. The game even lets you curve shots. The magazine highlights that the varied movements are based on motion capture data from actual Jeff Ichihara players, bringing authenticity to the on-screen action. Visuals include screenshots showing various actions like charging dribbles, passing, shooting, sliding tackles leading to fouls, and goals. There's also a tactical view of the field position, which can be customized. The sound design is emphasized as a key element, with synthetic voices for players calling for passes or reacting to tackles, and dynamic crowd noise that cheers exciting moments and boos mistakes, truly enhancing the match atmosphere. The developers express their pride in the realistic graphics, achieved with the help of Jeff United's cooperation in filming player movements. The game promises a dynamic and realistic soccer experience. This page focuses on the Ultraman game for the Mega Drive, highlighting strategies for defeating the various monsters. The game is a one-on-one fighter where you control Ultraman battling against iconic kaiju from the TV series. The core gameplay involves attacking the monster, dodging their attacks, and ultimately finishing them off with the Specium Ray. The page emphasizes that while it might sound complex, the controls for attacking and dodging are straightforward, and the key to success is learning each monster's attack patterns to defeat them efficiently. The article notes that monsters appear in the order they did in the TV show, and their difficulty doesn't strictly follow that order, meaning tougher monsters might appear earlier. It introduces some key monsters and provides specific tactics. For example, Jamila is fast and best defeated by repeatedly using the downward kick. Bulston, known for its bizarre attacks like dimensional fireballs and rotation attacks, requires staying close and using throws, or blocking distant attacks with the barrier. Screenshots show Ultraman in combat, performing his signature attacks and fighting monsters like Red King, Jamila, and Bolton. Basic game info is also present, stating the release date was April 9, 1993, priced at 5,800 yen, and it's a one-player action game. This page expands on the strategies for the Ultraman game, detailing specific techniques essential for battling the monsters. It highlights moves like the Ultra Kick, Downward Kick, which is a high-frequency staple, the Stone Drop for grappling, and the Somersault/Backward Roll for dodging or closing distance. Defensive tactics include the Ultra Barrier to deflect beam attacks, and the ultimate weapon, the Specium Ray, usable even with low energy, though cautioned against indiscriminate use. The article stresses mastering these skills is key to victory. The page then provides tactics for later, tougher foes. Baltan is fast, with strong close combat and evasive jumps, recommending waiting for openings after jumps to use the Stone Drop, and using the Backward Roll after breaking its clone attack. Mesophilus is tricky and quick, suggesting the Stone Drop if you can grapple, or relying on the barrier to reflect beam attacks, advising against reckless offense. Zeton is slower but powerful, especially its beam attacks, which are very difficult to counter, making bouncing them back with the barrier the primary strategy, leaving the outcome heavily dependent on player skill. A section is dedicated to the Science Special Search Party, SSSP, describing them as Japan's last line of defense against monsters and invaders, comprising 5 elite members working tirelessly to protect peace. A diorama-like image of their headquarters is shown. A final tip notes that Ultraman's chest timer turns red when near defeat, signaling it's time to charge up energy and finish the foe with the Specium Ray. This page introduces the popular Genesis game, Desert Strike, which has arrived in Japan. The article highlights the game's unique isometric viewpoint and the ability to freely maneuver a helicopter across a wide, smoothly scrolling field. It notes that the controls are easy to pick up, making it enjoyable even for those intimidated by complex flight simulators. The helicopter is equipped with 3 weapon types: the standard Vulcan cannon and 2 types of missiles, Hydra and Hellfire, emphasizing the need to learn when to use each. The missions become increasingly difficult, requiring careful strategy. Enemies are depicted realistically, with some showing movement, particularly smaller human figures or jeeps. The rules section explains the mission structure. Objectives like rescuing pilots and destroying targets such as power plants and radar stations. And how to identify friendly soldiers, yellow, from enemies, green, by their uniforms. Screenshots illustrate the weapons, Vulcan, Hydra, Hellfire, and key locations like forward bases and enemy camps. This page continues the in-depth look at Desert Strike, detailing more advanced gameplay mechanics and strategies. It explains the role of the computer-controlled co-pilot, noting that selecting different co-pilots influences factors like combat effectiveness and winching speed, adding replayability. The article emphasizes the importance of using the in-game options screen, which includes a radar map, to confirm mission objectives and locate targets and enemies across the expansive desert environment. It also reiterates the unique helicopter controls, comparing them to an RC car. The guide provides tips for engaging targets, highlighting the danger of heavily armored vehicles and anti-air defenses, and suggesting the powerful Hellfire missiles for tackling tough enemies like power plants after clearing surrounding threats. A crucial part of the game involves rescuing friendly soldiers, identified by their yellow uniforms, by using the winch to bring them aboard the helicopter and transporting them to base. The winch is also used to pick up essential fuel and ammunition supplies, often found hidden in buildings or specific locations, which can be spotted on the radar. Finally, a word from the developer describes the game's unique appeal, comparing its feel to controlling an RC vehicle, and finding satisfaction in both destruction and the strategic elements of rescue and resupply. This page shifts focus to the strategic simulation game Megalomania. The article highlights that prosperity or destruction rests in the player's hands as they guide their civilization through different eras. The game is centered around resource gathering, weapon development, and combat, with inventions driving technological advancement and changing available weapons and overall strategy. A key element is factory production, which becomes crucial for utilizing advanced weaponry. The page introduces the 4 distinct leaders players can choose from: Scarlet, a passionate queen; Caesar, a just and calm leader; Oberon, the enigmatic head of a mysterious group; and Madcap, a battle-hardened martial and strategic genius. Strategy evolves significantly between eras. Early eras emphasize population growth and basic development before attacking, while later eras require strategic resource mining, facility construction, technical leveling, and mass production before engaging the enemy. A key piece of advice notes that successful mass production of weapons in later eras is bottlenecked by the speed of resource extraction, making efficient mining critical. Ultimately, Megalomania is presented as a dynamic game of evolution, destruction, and power, where adapting strategy to the changing times is paramount. This page continues our look at the strategic simulation game Megalomania, focusing on the core actions you'll perform. It lays out the fundamental cycle of progress. Invention, where you research new technology like weapons and defenses, which requires assigning workers and resources. Mining, where you gather essential resources needed for invention and production by dedicating manpower. And production, where you actually build the items you've invented at your factories, again requiring resources and workers. The page also details crucial combat commands. Defense allows you to place defensive units around your structures, while the shield command is used for repairing damaged buildings. When you're ready to strike, the attack command lets you select invented and produced weapons to send into battle against enemies, with a limit on the total number of units you can field. A helpful table shows how technology advances through the eras, detailing the different offensive and defensive capabilities you'll unlock as your civilization progresses, from the Stone Age to futuristic warfare. Various screenshots provide glimpses of the game's interface, showing the map with resource nodes and structures, and the tactical combat view. This page introduces the RPG Maten no Sumetsu, highlighting it as a beginner-friendly title from Kodansha Software. The article focuses on the game's prologue and early story beats. We learn about the protagonist, Alganus, found as an infant with demon features by a man who saved him from demons. Baby is taken to the holy sorcerer Raphael, who seals his wings and raises him. The story picks up with a 15-year-old Alnas. His father, injured while investigating turmoil, returns home and warns of a world crisis before dying. Aljanus must then meet the king as per his father's final wish. Early gameplay involves quests like searching for medicinal herbs, leading to encounters with bandits. Screenshots show Aljanus in the castle, talking to his mother and the king, and exploring outside areas like towns and caves, where he battles monsters like slimes and faces a bandit leader. The developers state the game is almost complete and aims to offer a unique RPG experience. This page features Night Legend, a strategy simulation game that SLG fans have been eagerly awaiting. It's scheduled for release on May 31st for 9,800 yen. The game is set on the Eastern Front of World War II, letting players command the German army through historical battles, even pushing beyond where they historically reached. The goal is to lead the German forces to victory. The article suggests players immerse themselves in the era, finding unique enjoyment in promotions, training, and the tension of combat. Screenshots show both strategic map views for directing units and tactical views of battles. Each soldier unit has different ability values, which players need to pay attention to. The publisher, Kodansha Soshken, produced a substantial promotional video for the game, even incorporating live-action footage, though it hasn't been fully revealed yet. A preview tournament was recently held for a small group of SLG fans to test an in-development version and provide feedback on the game's systems and improvements. A message from the developer confirms the game is nearly complete and hopes players will enjoy commanding their tanks and fighting through the battlefields. This page focuses on PGA Tour Golf 2, a PGA-sanctioned golf simulation that aims for realism by using actual course data from 1992. It boasts a tournament mode featuring real famous pro golfers, with a total of 60 professionals included in the game. The review highlights the game's simple controls, making it accessible even for newcomers, while still allowing for detailed shots. 50 features like automatic replays of great shots and various camera views are mentioned as enjoyable aspects. The article explains how the shot indicator is crucial for controlling shot power and adding slice or hook. It also touches upon selecting clubs and provides multiple screenshots showing the in-game interface, including wind speed, shot power gauge, and hole informations. A section titled PGA clarifies that PGA stands for Professional Golfers Association and is the top governing body for pro golf globally. Another section showcases some of the featured pros, calling them pro golfers, and listing 10 of the top players out of the 60, accompanied by pixel portraits. The page emphasizes the game's practical views, detailing how it offers various perspectives beyond the standard 3D view. Screenshots illustrate different viewpoints, such as a tee shot view, an overhead course layout, a bird's eye view, and a wireframe view for analyzing green undulation. The article notes that players can switch between these views to plan their shots and even receive pro advice, adding significant variety to the gameplay. This page dives into the various game modes and features available in PGA Tour Golf 2. It highlights the basic golf play styles, stroke play, and match play, both supporting up to 4 players for competitive fun. Solo players can challenge world-class pros in a tournament mode where rankings shift dynamically based on other players' performances. Crucially, the game includes dedicated practice modes, allowing players to hone their skills on the driving range and putting green, essential for mastering shot control and getting used to the unique shot indicator. The page also details the skins match mode, a competitive format where prize money is awarded for winning each hole, with money carrying over if holes are tied, adding an exciting financial layer to the game. A major draw is the inclusion of 7 renowned, real-world golf courses that players can freely select across all modes. These courses are faithfully recreated based on actual data, featuring distinct characteristics like tricky doglegs, numerous water hazards, challenging terrain, and difficult greens, promising a realistic and varied experience. Finally, a message from the developer expresses confidence in the game, emphasizing features like data from 60 real pros, real-time wind simulation, and realistic green undulation, confirming that it captures the essence of golf. This page is all about the action-packed James Bond 007, The Duel on the Sega Mega Drive. It's an action title from Tengen that captures the essence of the spy movie series, pitting players against a secret organization bent on world domination while trying to rescue captured Bond girls. The article highlights the game's faithful recreation of classic 007 movie tropes, promising intense action, exploration of secret bases, and interactions with those famous Bond girls. Screenshots showcase the gameplay, focusing on Bond's agility, with actions like climbing ladders, jumping, and hiding, essential for navigating the levels and engaging enemies. The visuals depict a platforming adventure with combat elements, where discovering items like powerful bombs is key to success. Beyond the game itself, the page reflects on the enduring legacy of the James Bond character, comparing him to a beloved figure like Tora-san in Japanese culture. It touches upon the appeal of the different actors who have played Bond over the years, and the consistent image of the suave, international spy. The review suggests that even newcomers to the 007 world can enjoy the game's atmosphere, though watching the movies will enhance the experience. Side sections point out that films like The Living Daylights and License to Kill are available on home video for fans. James Bond 007. The duel for Sega Mega Drive challenges players to infiltrate enemy hideouts, rescue Bond girls, and plant bombs. The game features 3 distinct missions: a luxury liner, a forest hideout, and a volcanic facility. The liner mission emphasizes combat, requiring players to use cover and strategic attacks, with a submarine or jetpack for escape, and a Jaws boss fight. The forest stage demands careful navigation and knowledge of the Bond girl locations, along with a rooftop robot boss. The final volcanic level presents the most danger with its magma hazards, and features the challenging Mayday boss, requiring players to explore multi-layered levels. This page is all about Snow Bros, the classic action game from Toaplan, now hitting the Mega Drive courtesy of Tengen. It confirms the game is 100% complete and features 2-player simultaneous play. The game is a fixed-screen action title, where you must defeat all enemies to clear the stage, similar to games like Bubble Bobble. The core mechanic involves throwing snowballs at enemies to freeze them solid, then rolling the frozen enemies to defeat them, and chain hits on other foes. Snow Bros includes all 50 stages from the original arcade game, plus some exclusive Mega Drive stages. Expect power-ups, bonus items, like sushi, and intense boss battles every 10 stages. The page highlights the excitement of rolling enemies, but warns you can get caught in your own snowball. It also points out that taking too long on a stage summons fast-moving ghost enemies to hurry you along. Bonus stages trigger with special items, offering chances for extra points or items, including collecting letters that spell out Wonder. The developer's message expresses excitement for the game's release and hopes players, especially kids, get fired up to play. This page introduces the Laseractive system and its exciting potential for gaming. Described as a groundbreaking media combining powerful video and audio with interactivity, the Laseractive is highlighted for its capabilities beyond typical home consoles. While the exact release date isn't set, it's expected in July, so it's time to get ready. The feature focuses on the launch software lineup, announcing 3 titles each for the Megold and Coldrum Squared formats. Games are the primary focus, but the system promises content beyond just traditional gaming. 2 notable games are featured with screenshots. First is Pyramid Patrol, a 3D space shooter set on future Mars, blending Egyptian themes with sci-fi elements. Gameplay involves aiming and shooting enemies, but the text emphasizes the incredibly detailed video quality achieved through advanced computer graphics, far surpassing standard console graphics. Second is a game referred to as a jet coaster-like shooting game, which is Jet Coaster Dream. It's described as having agrendered backgrounds and a sense of speed unlike anything the base Mega Drive console could produce. The page notes the difficulty in capturing this speed sensation in still screenshots. A small box clarifies that Megold discs require the dedicated player system. The Laseractive's launch lineup includes 3 LD-ROM squared titles, alongside the previously announced Megold games. Pioneer's I Will, Tentative, is an interactive movie centered on detective work, promising in-depth investigation and resource management. Pyramid's Mystery, Tentative, is a visual encyclopedia from Pioneer disguised as a game, offering information on pyramids. Planet's offerings include Angel Maid, Tentative, an adult puzzle game with revealing video rewards, and Devil's Judgment, Tentative, a psychology quiz game. Hudson contributes Quizoconosaurus, Tentative, an environmentally themed quiz game. Pioneer addresses the Laseractive's high price, acknowledging user feedback. They justify the cost by highlighting the system's value, combining Mega Drive, CD player, and LD controller functions to provide a premium audio and video experience, particularly for Laserdisc users. This page dives into the Mega CD version of the popular manga series, 3x3 Eyes. The headline boldly asks if this adaptation surpasses the original work. The article provides an update on the game's development, stating that visuals, sound, events, and maps are complete, bringing the game to roughly 80% completion, with just fine-tuning of battle balance and graphics remaining. While the release was pushed back to July, the game is close to being ready. From this issue onwards, they plan to reveal more about the game content without spoiling everything. It highlights key gameplay elements like the ally command for character interactions, and the importance of flags, which trigger events and story progression. Screenshots showcase anime-style cutscenes, exploration on the world map, a battle sequence, and interior locations. The page features impressive artwork and several in-game glimpses. The sidebar lists other games covered in this issue, like Allshark, Shining Force, and Final Fight CD. Finally, the page promises a deep dive into the game's opening story on the next page. This looks like a promising adaptation of a beloved series. This page continues the coverage of the Mega CD adaptation of 3x3 Eyes, focusing on Yakumo's journey in Hong Kong after Pai is seemingly erased by a three-eyed version of herself. Following his father's will, Yakumo arrives in Hong Kong seeking the Yao Giki Company. He tries to find Chen Pear, rumored to have issues with the Yao Giki Company, but she's elusive. Gameplay involves exploring locations like the Hong Kong shopping street, which is full of various shops from weapon stores to bookshops, and the Yao Giki Company itself, which serves as a base for saving progress and recovering. The main goal leads Yakumo to infiltrate Kowloon Castle after hearing rumors about the mysterious Kowloon sect. Inside, he learns about the sect's founder and the possibility that Chen Pear might be involved or even turned into a stone statue, according to information from a fire demon encountered in the castle's underground. The article also touches on gameplay mechanics, noting that Pain is effectively immortal and will gradually recover from near-death states. It highlights the Kowloon sect founders' battle against a fire demon, which resulted in their defeat, leaving a follower to carry on their mission. The page provides glimpses into the game's exploration, dialogue, and battle systems through several screenshots. This page details further adventures in the Mega CD adaptation of 3x3 Eyes, following Yakumo's quest in Hong Kong. It describes attempts to infiltrate the Huangpu mansion, facing initial rejection but eventually gaining access and gathering intel at an underground party. The mysterious Madame Huang is central to the plot, initially absent, but later providing full cooperation upon learning Xiao's true nature. The search for a locked room is highlighted, leading to the discovery of a stone statue connected to the elixir. The narrative progresses to Yakumo solving the case and deciding to return to Japan with Pei, despite Ling Ling's suggestion to become monster hunters. The page touches upon familiar locations like Kowloon Castle, noting its recovery in the presence of an inventor, and Yakumo's hometown, West Shinjuku-S, describing it as having many shops despite a less-than-ideal environment. The powerful antagonist, Shun Kai, is introduced, recognized by fans of the original work as the one who turned the elixir into stone, establishing him as a formidable foe. The section concludes with the characters heading back to Japan from the Hong Kong airport. This page continues the story of 3x3 Eyes for the Mega CD, following Yakumo and Pai's return to Japan. Upon arriving home, Yakumo finds his apartment in disarray, soon encountering Mama and receiving a call from his friend Hyde about strange events at West High School, indicating trouble has followed him back. The narrative then shifts to West High School, which is under martial law due to an injury and kidnapping incident. The town is empty, and the school gates are locked, but Saru is waiting outside. The game then details an investigation inside the school, with Hyde and Saru, where Natsuko is captured by a monster. Although she briefly recovers, she is taken away after Pai's third eye is sealed. Yakumo must then undertake a rescue mission for Pai and Natsuko at the Reims building. This structure acts like a dungeon, presenting a significant challenge, especially with Pai's powers limited. After successfully rescuing them, the story highlights Yakumo's human form being exposed. He decides to embark on a journey to become fully human again, saying goodbye to his friends. The scene shifts back to Hong Kong, where, upon returning, the Yokogeisha office is attacked, and Ling Ling is missing. The attacker is described as a young girl. Finally, the page provides travel information for Macau within the game world, calling it the Las Vegas of the Orient, and a place with casinos and shops, as well as highlighting the Royal Sawara Hotel as a key location for rest and recovery. This page continues the adventure in 3x3 Eyes, picking up after returning to Hong Kong. You report to Huang, which reveals a connection to Steve Long, leading you to Macau for the first time, where you encounter enemies on the field map. At Steve Long's office, you meet Maisei, the girl who attacked the Yokogeisha office. Resolving the misunderstanding allows her to join your party. Returning to Hong Kong, you receive news from Huang that Ling Ling has been found in critical condition at the Royal Sawara Hotel. This hotel is known for strange disappearances of women, Investigating the guests proves difficult, but you learn of a ritual taking place on a higher floor. After confronting and defeating the Dragon King, Benasiles appears, revealing his objective is the human statue. Back at Huang's place, you find out Taki has been kidnapped by monsters, who are also after the human statue, using Taki as leverage. Following a party celebrating Ling Ling and the Dragon King's recovery, Pain decides to go to Abidine alone, where Benasiles is waiting. Yakumo resolves to follow Pain and bring her back. This page introduces the upcoming RPG Allshark for the Sega Mega CD. Previously a hit on personal computers, the Mega CD version promises enhanced visuals and sound. The game is highlighted for its charming characters and features a unique space mode alongside standard RPG exploration. The page presents profiles for 4 main characters active from the game's outset. Shion Asuman, the gentle but decisive air and sword expert. Shoko Penrose, the intelligent and powerful psychic. Scrap Joe, the mechanical genius who can build anything from parts. And Welda Mairetsu, a mutant warrior with psychic abilities. Interplanetary travel in Allshark is handled by the spaceship Atria, belonging to Scrap Joe. Navigating the vast sea of stars involves using maps and radar. Encounters in space trigger a dynamic shift to a shooting game mode, where players can control a fighter manually or automatically to engage enemy ships. Multiple screenshots showcase this space exploration and combat system. The game is listed at 70% completion and is planned for a summer release. This page reviews 2 Sega CD releases. Ihi Hisaichi no Deiseikai is a humorous simulation RPG, where you play a secretary striving to become prime minister, navigating political campaigns and maneuvers with over 500 characters. The game offers a satirical take on politics. The Sega Classic Arcade Collection is a compilation of 4 classic Sega titles, originally included with the limited edition Mega CD. It's aimed at both new and nostalgic players. The collection includes Golden Axe, a fantasy action game, Streets of Rage, a revised beat-em-up, Columns, a jewel-matching puzzle game, and The Revenge of Shinobi, featuring a memorable soundtrack. Each game is represented with screenshots highlighting their gameplay. This page focuses on the Mega CD port of Taito's arcade classic, Night Striker. It announces that development is 100% complete, and the game is ready for release. Scheduled for May 28 at 7,800 yen. The article expresses excitement that this phantasmagorical arcade experience can now be enjoyed at home, specifically highlighting its support for the analog pad. The port is praised for being faithful to the arcade original, a feat previously thought impossible, which is a testament to Taito's skill. Night Striker features a unique structure with a total of 21 stages, though a single playthrough consists of only 6 rounds. As shown in the diagram, stages branch out, offering players choices after completing each one. This branching path system means the ending changes depending on the stages you select, providing significant replay value and encouraging multiple playthroughs to see everything. Screenshots show the game's wireframe-like 3D visuals and the stage selection screen, where players choose their next destination from the available options like the factory, city, temple, or underwater levels. The article notes the multitude of potential paths offered by the branching structure, suggesting it provides ample enjoyment. This page dives deeper into the gameplay of Night Striker on the Mega CD, focusing on the player ship, the Intergrey. It reveals that the ship isn't limited to just one form, but transforms into several types, especially in the final stages, with 6 distinct patterns corresponding to the 6 possible final stages you can reach through the branching paths. The standard forms allow for versatile movement across air, ground, and even hovering over water. Different stages feature unique transformations. You'll see forms like a humanoid robot, a fast bike split from the main unit, a booster-equipped version, and a powerful full battle formation. The reviewer notes that while some transformations are practical, others, like the humanoid form, might look cool but aren't the most effective offensively, adding an interesting strategic element. The article reminds newcomers that Night Striker is a 3D forced-scrolling shooter featuring a shield system where damage reduces your meter until game over. Each stage culminates in a boss fight. The variety of stages is highlighted, from cityscapes and suburbs to factories and even sacred temple grounds where combat takes place, showing the game's diverse environments. Finally, a strong recommendation is made regarding the audio experience. The arcade version used a special lighting system, but for the home version, playing with headphones at a high volume is advised. The game's background music is highly praised, considered excellent, and best enjoyed loud for maximum impact. This page introduces the Mega CD game Ranma 1/2, White Orchid Serenade, highlighting its original scenario and characters exclusive to the platform. The game features anime-style animation and voice acting, giving it the feel of watching a movie. It delves into a new story, focusing on the deepening relationship between Ranma and Akane. The page includes a character relationship chart, showing key figures like Ranma, Akane, Shampoo, Ryoga, and new characters Arisa Nanjo and dual pugilists. The plot begins with Ranma and Akane, unaware of curses affecting Ryoga, Moose, and Genma. Their adventure starts when Akane's father books them a date. This leads them to meet Nabiki, who offers a physique improvement method, and eventually to a mysterious research institute, where Arisa Nanjo and the dual pugilist await. The page also shows a fighting segment against Kuno Tatewaki, noting the combat is command-based but relatively slow, making it an easy win. The presentation focuses heavily on the story and character interactions within this new narrative. This page continues the look at the Mega CD exclusive Ranma 1/2, White Orchid Serenade, detailing more of the game's story progression and character encounters. Chapter 2 starts with Ranma waking up in a strange garden with a cane, leading them back to Nabiki and the mysterious research institute introduced previously. Along the way, players face off against familiar faces like Moose and Ryoga in command-based battles, with specific moves like Ryoga's powerful Lion's Roar Blast highlighted. There's also a unique encounter with a giant Puyo Puyo-like monster. Even Ukyo makes an appearance, having opened a thriving okonomiyaki shop with Shampoo. The story progresses to a hot spring scene where Rankarima attempts to revert to his male form, though Abikane and Shampoo also end up joining. Chapter 3 kicks off with the group splitting up and tackling an elevator segment, which leads to another confrontation with Ryoga and the appearance of the powerful boss, Bio Number 1. The quest also involves rescuing Akane and questioning the dual pugilist about her whereabouts. A major highlight is the confirmation that the game features the original voice cast from the anime, lending authenticity to the cutscenes and character interactions as the story unfolds. This page highlights the Mega CD adventure game, simply titled Switch. Described as the first software title compatible with the Mega CD mouse, the game's objective is to save the world from impending destruction by pressing the correct switches on various machines. The core mechanic involves triggering gags when switches are pressed, with the fate of the world hanging in the balance if the wrong switch is chosen. The game is praised as an outrageous and transcendental work filled purely with gags. The comedic content is specifically handled by Mr. Kutani of the famous Wahaha Hanpo comedy troupe, whose signature gachon sound is also included. The simple, one-button operation makes it accessible for all ages. Screenshots show the game's cartoonish style and examples of the bizarre interactive scenarios, such as dealing with a copy machine, a jukebox, going to the toilet, riding a rocking horse, and even a sequence involving a cigarette vending machine that concludes with a reminder that smoking under 20 is prohibited by law, presented as part of the game's humor. The game was scheduled for an April 23 release at 8,800 yen, confirmed as a one-player-only title. This page continues the coverage of the Mega CD game Switch, focusing on its features and the completion party. It highlights the map function, described as essential for enjoying all the game's gags. The map, styled like a computer motherboard, helps players navigate, track visited scenes, gauge gag completion and monument progress, and identify their current location and potential dead ends. It emphasizes the importance of saving frequently, noting that hitting 0 remaining monuments leads to a game over. The bottom section reports on the Switch completion ceremony held in Shibuya, depicted as a lively event fitting for a comedic game. Hosted by Mr. Okina of Waha Hanpo and Mr. Masahiro Sato, the party featured jokes about the game's difficulty and limited playtime. Key staff, including the music director and character designer, along with voice actors for the main character and others, were in attendance. Amusing anecdotes, such as scriptwriter Mr. Fumio Takada's surprised reaction to the gags and the Waha Hanpo members' antics, contributed to the festive atmosphere. Photos capture moments from the event and show some of the attendees. This page dives into the Mega CD RPG, Illusion City, highlighting its progress at 80% completion, with a planned release date of May 28. The focus this month is on the game's appeal, showcasing the opening sequence for the Mega CD version, which apparently offers a more detailed story introduction compared to the PC original. Development is nearing completion, with the core system and data in place, and debugging underway. The version shown is noted to be missing music. Screenshots reveal a cyberpunk Neo-Hong Kong setting in the year 20XX, hinting at a conflict between Tenjin and the mysterious Metenkyo organization. The page also introduces several key characters, noting that while the protagonists featured this time seem relatively normal, many of the Metenkyo leaders and the world's inhabitants are quite the oddballs, including drug users, those with harems, and more. Understanding these complex relationships adds to the fun. Featured characters include Tenjin, a diver who hunts demons in the lower city, Nantan Li, a powerful and seemingly popular villain leading the Metenkyo, Mei Fan, a female police officer raised with Tenjin who often gets into trouble, and the sisters, Hu Mei and Xiao Mei, targeted by the Metenkyo for a power they possess. This page delves deeper into the systems powering Illusion City, starting with the manipulation system and VR system. Plain simply, the manipulation system allows characters on the screen to act on the field, demonstrated by sequences from various in-game scenes. Scene 1 shows Tenjin in his apartment opening the game, highlighting detailed animation. Scene 2 takes us to Irene's room, an information dealer, noted for her artwork being somewhat racy. Scene 3 features the Metenkyo executive West Heaven Fei and Ryuke in a striking bed scene, surprisingly confirming both are male despite the mood. An additional shot shows a ritual happening at Metenkyo headquarters involving a young girl, tying into the previous page's character introductions. The battle system is also detailed, confirming Illusion City is a field-type RPG with expected monster battles. The page emphasizes the rich animation of the monsters. Each monster has multiple attack methods, all featuring elaborate animation, making just watching the battles enjoyable. Screenshots illustrate the flow from moving on the field, encountering an enemy symbol, mysterious floating blobs, to the battle immediately beginning, where you first see the enemy type. A glimpse into the diverse enemy animations is provided with 2 examples: Zuva, a jellyfish-like demon that uses poison gas attacks, and Nutor, a worm-like creature found in abandoned elevators that attacks directly. Finally, the page highlights Isaac, who joins early in the story. As a robot, he's equipped with the powerful MBH cannon capable of annihilating enemies, though players must manage its limited ammunition. This page dives into Devastator, an action game from Wolf Team slated for a late April release on the Mega CD. Priced at 7,800 yen, it's a single-player title that was 100% complete at the time of this publication. The article highlights the game's charming female characters and suggests watching the related OVA for better story understanding, even though the game's story is said to be easy to follow. A major focus is placed on the impressive opening sequence, showcased with a large graphic and various screenshots of the intro animation, featuring key characters and mechs. The reviewer is clearly impressed, stating, "This is the opening to watch." The stage introduction section details Stage 5, the ancient plant cluster area. This is described as the second horizontal scrolling shooting stage. Following Stage 3, players will navigate a difficult landscape filled with ancient plants and floating rocks, requiring careful movement to avoid getting trapped by the terrain. Screenshots show the player's mech engaging plant-like enemies and smaller foes. The boss of Stage 5 is also revealed, a bizarre creature with extending eyes that shoot lasers. It also attacks with eggs launched from its rear. The creature is persistent, with the eye continuing to attack even after the main body is defeated. This page delves into the latter half of Devastator, covering Stage 6, the Castle of Flame, and the challenging last stage. Stage 6 is set within a massive, fiery castle discovered on a floating continent, a harsh environment filled with plant-related enemies resistant to attack. The stage is notorious for fire hazards and obstacles like spinning spiked iron balls, requiring precise timing to navigate. The boss of this stage is a formidable centaur-like creature with 3 distinct attack patterns: a ground laser, a head laser, and guided missiles. Defeating this boss demands careful pattern recognition and endurance. The last stage, titled To Hyperspace, sees the player warped into hyperspace by the colossal Devastator. This stage transforms the gameplay into a shooting segment. The reviewer notes this is the game's final hurdle, and expresses a sense of trepidation, especially for players less skilled at shooting games. Adding to the challenge, previous bosses reappear during this final shooting encounter, requiring completely different strategies to overcome. Success relies on pure perseverance and skill. Additionally, a separate section highlights the game's Devastator gals, noting that the visual scenes are packed with attractive female characters. While not directly linked to the main gameplay, these scenes are presented as another way to appreciate the game's presentation, humorously suggesting ways to view them. This page showcases Arcus I, II, and II-I, a compilation title for the Mega CD from Wolf Team, noted here as being 65% complete and aiming for a late April release. The magazine highlights this collection as an industry-first feat for bringing all three games together, promising long hours of gameplay and excellent value for RPG fans. The focus is heavily on the game's opening visuals, with several screenshots displaying animated character scenes and snippets of dialogue, giving players a glimpse into the story and atmosphere across the trilogy. The text also introduces the main cast, providing brief descriptions of characters like Jeddah, the hero of I, Picto, the hero of II and II-I, Aaron, Diana, and others, along with their Japanese voice actors and the specific games they appear in. It's mentioned that while many other characters exist, space limited this introduction, and that these featured characters can change classes based on their profession. This page dives into the core gameplay systems of the Arcus Trilogy compilation. It highlights that a large portion of the game is spent exploring 3D dungeons. The interface shows the first-person dungeon view at the top, a message window below, and party member faces and simple stats on the right. Dungeon progression involves completing events and finding treasure, and a simple map is always accessible. The battle system features animated visuals for enemy attacks and magic, creating visual shock. Battles involve a 6-person party arranged in front, middle, and back rows, each with different physical and magic attack/defense capabilities. Town activities are handled efficiently through command menus for moving to specific locations like shops and inns, and another command for talking to people, making exploration quick and simple. Key events occur when certain conditions are met in dungeons or towns. Important events trigger full-screen visual scenes, complete with voice acting, which the magazine emphasizes as a significant draw and a major part of Arcus's appeal. This page delves into Dark Wizard for the Mega CD, a strategy RPG that promises immense depth. It highlights the game's requirement for high strategic skill, as players lead both monsters and humanoids into battle against the forces of darkness. The game isn't just about tactics. It boasts a deep story and compelling characters, providing substance beyond typical simulation games. Units gain experience and grow, becoming more than mere pieces on the map, and can even be named, adding an RPG layer of character progression that players will truly appreciate. Strategists will find the game friendly, as essential data like movement costs and attack effectiveness against different units and terrain is easily accessible via commands. A major draw is the replayability offered by the 4 different protagonists, each a potential Holy King. Their unique attributes and starting units mean strategies vary significantly, and, crucially, each character has their own entirely separate story, offering 4 distinct campaigns to enjoy. The page showcases character portraits, screenshots of gameplay, data tables, and impactful event scenes illustrating critical moments and varied outcomes for characters depending on the chosen path. The reviewer clearly finds the game highly engaging and replayable. This page serves as a practical guide to playing Dark Wizard, walking players through the fundamental mechanics using the initial map as a demonstration. The top section introduces key characters from the game's world, including the formidable Dark Wizard Veronese, offering insights into their personalities and roles through brief profiles and quotes. One character humorously attributes their longevity to dabbling in forbidden magic, while another reflects on centuries of existence. The main tutorial breaks down the game into key aspects. It explains unit acquisition, noting that summoning monsters costs magic points, and hiring humanoids requires gold, stressing the need for thoughtful recruitment. Movement is detailed, highlighting how terrain and unit type affect mobility, and mentioning the strategic concept of zone of control. Combat emphasizes tactical depth, covering the use of direct and indirect attacks, careful timing, and considering unit attributes for planned engagements several turns ahead. The guide also points out the importance of gathering information and resources by visiting towns, which function as hubs for equipment and character interactions. Finally, it explains progression, stating that clearing a map typically involves defeating the enemy leader and allows the player to advance to the next area. Accompanying screenshots illustrate these points, showing the strategic map view, a battle in progress, a town screen, and menu options, giving players a visual understanding of the game's interface and core gameplay loops. The overall focus is on mastering the strategic layers of Dark Wizard, This page previews the upcoming action Cridrom title, Cyborg 009, for the Mega CD, which is currently 70% complete. The game promises high-speed scrolling action. The reviewer is particularly impressed with the BGM, which is described as wonderfully retro, adding a unique atmosphere. Gameplay centers heavily around the use of the acceleration device, a core ability of the cyborgs. Mastering this device is crucial, not just for getting around tough terrain with double and even triple jumps, but also because it grants temporary invincibility, essential for strategic play. The review notes that the game is set in locations like the Sea of Izu, referencing details that fans of the series will appreciate. The page also showcases the game's visual scene segments, typical of Cridrom titles of the era. A sequence is detailed, showing Helena attacking 003, followed by 009 intervening, questioning her, and the team gathering at 09's villa. The scenes depict an investigation into 03's disappearance after the attack, highlighting the narrative elements interwoven with the action. The text notes the visuals shown are from the development version of the game. This page provides updates on a couple of highly anticipated Mega CD titles. First up is Sylphid, the CG shooter from GameArts, currently sitting at 76% completion. Development is described as steady, though perhaps not rapid, due to the complex CG technology involved. While new screenshots weren't ready this month, expect to see more next issue, building on the impressive demo shown recently. Next, we get a look at Might and Magic 2i. Isles of Terra, coming to Mega CD from Crin, and slated for a July release, currently 40% complete. This marks the debut of the Might and Magic series on the platform. The Mega CD version promises significant enhancements over PC originals, including visual scene segments, full CDDA audio for music and effects, and a Freescape 3D system with packed visual effects and 3D battles. It's highlighted as a classic 3D RPG, allowing player freedom and exploration beyond a linear path. The page wraps up with some general Mega CD news, hinting at a wave of new releases after the upcoming toy show. Specific mentions include Koei porting a horse racing game, and Micronet developing a growth-type action game, while Humans: The Heroic Legend of Arslan seems to be delayed or cancelled for the platform. Finally, screenshots of F1 Circus CD appear, showcasing its realistic handling in multiple race modes, suggesting it's nearing completion and generating excitement. This page features the Difficult Games International Rescue Mission segment, offering assistance to players stuck in challenging Mega CD and Mega Drive titles. First up is Tips for the Ninja Warriors on Mega CD. The guide tackles common issues encountered with the Shadow Man and Iron Arm bosses. It notes that the Mega CD version differs slightly from the arcade. For Shadow Man, the advice is to wait for him to jump and counter with a shuriken upon landing. For Iron Arm, pictures are provided to demonstrate the effective strategy, which involves anticipating attacks and timing your moves. Next, the page offers a guide for Nostalgia 1907, specifically detailing how to solve a crucial bomb defusal puzzle. It provides a step-by-step sequence for disarming the device, involving cutting specific colored wires and interacting with various components, accompanied by a diagram of the mechanism. Finally, the segment includes a call for players to send in their own rescue signals or questions about difficult games, providing the address to which they should submit their requests. This page helps players overcome difficult sections in Ninja Warriors and guides them through a bomb puzzle in Nostalgia 1907. This volume of the BeepMD League unveils cheats and secrets for several games. In Streets of Rage 2, Game Gear, an invincible mode and stage select are unlocked through a specific sound test manipulation. True Ball features a level select accessed via music demo codes and in-game button combinations. Side Pocket reveals a bonus game trigger activated by potting your own ball in a designated pocket, as well as other shot tips. Finally, Black Hole Assault, Mega CD, offers an invincible mode achieved by naming your character Muteki. The page encourages readers to submit their own game tricks for potential publication and prizes. This page shifts focus to the Game Gear, highlighting new releases from May 1993, including GG Doraemon, Norisuke's Ambition, Pro Yaku GG League, Kick and Rush, and Shining Force Gaiden 2. The main feature is Doraemon's debut on the Game Gear. The article praises the choice of Doraemon as a beloved Japanese character for a game, noting his widespread popularity compared to internationally originating characters like Mickey Mouse. The game is described as an orthodox side-scrolling action title with solid game balance, though it presents a slight difficulty challenge. Screenshots showcase the gameplay across various stages, from Nobita's town to jungles and time-traveling locations. The graphics are commended for how well Doraemon is rendered on the Game Gear's screen, with clear character expressions and animations. The story involves the robot dog Norisuke trapping Doraemon's friends, leading Doraemon on a quest through time to rescue them. A humorous observation is made about Doraemon having fingers on the game over screen graphic. This article reviews several Game Gear releases. Pro Yaku GG League, a 93 baseball update, boasts enhanced visuals, updated data, and battery backup for saving progress. The game offers diverse stadiums and player stats, alongside a Dream Team creation feature. Kick and Rush, a new soccer title, is praised for its balanced gameplay and AI. Shining Force Gaiden 2's development progresses, with key characters like Clade, Angela, and Nick revealed, alongside expanded adventure stages. The GG Hotline notes that Game Gear's sales success is due to quality titles like Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and Shining Force, boosting sales of other games. The article also mentions Puyo Puyo's confirmed autumn release, and a hint at Aleste's future appearance. This page delves into the history of arcade games, highlighting key titles and the hardware that powered them. The article discusses the impact of Space Invaders and the innovative Galaxian board, showcasing Nichibutsu's successful utilization of this hardware for their hit game Moon Cresta. The 14th installment of the History of TV Games series focuses on the evolution of arcade hardware following the groundbreaking success of Taito's Space Invaders in 1978. While Space Invaders spawned countless imitations, the market quickly became saturated. However, Namco released Galaxian in 1980, which stood apart with its unique hardware capabilities. Nichibutsu then maximized the potential of this Galaxian board to create their masterpiece hit, Moon Cresta. The article praises Moon Cresta's clever programming and stunning visuals, which were a significant leap forward from the simpler hardware of the time. It contrasts this success with other manufacturers who struggled to innovate or relied on less capable boards. The screenshots show gameplay from Moon Cresta, highlighting its distinct graphics and enemy patterns. This page continues the exploration of arcade game history, focusing on Nichibutsu's 1980 hit, Moon Cresta. The article explains how Moon Cresta built upon the foundation of the Galaxian board, specifically using a modified version with a subboard and increased room capacity, pushing the hardware's capabilities to their limit. Gameplay is detailed, highlighting the unique docking mechanic where players can combine multiple ships for enhanced firepower. The game features distinct enemy types across different waves, such as the splitting Cold Eye enemies in the first phase, the frenetic Superfly in the second, and the challenging docking sequence in the third. Later stages introduce enemies like the Atomic Pile, with its rapid-firing rockets. The text praises the game's thrilling action and strategic depth, particularly the challenge and reward of successfully docking ships. Screenshots illustrate the various enemy formations, the iconic docking sequence, and the high-score entry screen. A photo of the arcade board is included, showcasing the added subboard that enabled Moon Cresta's expanded gameplay and visuals compared to earlier titles. This page delves into Sega's 1980 arcade title, Carnival, contrasting it with the graphical leaps made by games like Namco's Galaxian, which debuted in 1979. The article suggests that while Sega possessed high-level programming skill, their hardware approach at the time might have lagged behind, hindering the visual evolution seen elsewhere. Carnival itself is presented as a game brimming with fun, uniquely American fairground ideas. The gameplay involves shooting various targets, including ducks and pipes, set against a backdrop of a carnival shooting gallery. Hitting targets earns points, with special targets affecting ammunition count, like hitting a 5 or 10 target increasing bullets, or providing bonuses. Hitting the bonus sign is also a key objective. Despite its enjoyable premise and solid programming, the magazine posits that Carnival struggled to compete visually when placed next to the vibrant dot matrix graphics of Galaxian-style games. The graphics appeared comparatively drab, and the game's theme and slightly complex scoring or rules might not have immediately resonated with Japanese players, leading it to be overlooked simply based on its less flashy appearance. The screenshots show the game's dark background with static targets and the player-controlled crosshairs at the bottom, illustrating the visual style described. This page continues the discussion of Sega's arcade title, Carnival. The article elaborates on the core gameplay, which involves moving a gun left and right to shoot down objects like ducks and pipes to score points. Hitting pipes specifically requires precise aim at the point display area. The game is noted for its difficulty, with limited ammunition being a constant concern, and running out results in a game over. A distinctive feature mentioned is a bonus stage where a bear appears from the left. Shooting the bear makes it react with a yell and change direction. Repeatedly hitting it increases its speed until it runs away. This bear bonus stage is compared to the one found in Namco's Gaplus, Galaga 3. The page also touches on the game's technical aspects, highlighting the use of an Intel 8035 CPU specifically for the PSG sound chip to produce the game's pleasant background music, and the inclusion of a custom chip for copy protection, marking it as one of the first games to employ such a measure. The overall sentiment is that Carnival is a challenging but interesting game, with unique features like the bonus stage and notable technical elements for its time. This page dives into Neo Geo titles with Volume 9 of the Neo Geo section, featuring 2 distinct games. Prominently displayed is 3 Count Bout, released in Japan as Fire Suplex, a professional wrestling game. The article highlights its impressive character size, offering singles matches and tag team bouts with a roster of 10 wrestlers. It details the gameplay mechanics, including standard wrestling maneuvers, tagging partners, and executing special techniques using the 4-button setup, which is explained in a dedicated How to Operate guide covering different actions for standing, grappling, and downed opponents. Screenshots capture the intense ring action, and even brawls outside the ropes using environmental weapons. Also featured is Sengoku 2, the sequel to the side-scrolling action title Sengoku. A small panel discusses the original Sengoku, noting it as a horizontal beat-em-up with a challenging difficulty curve, particularly due to characters starting out quite weak. The page provides a glimpse into the variety available on the Neo Geo platform, covering both one-on-one fighting/wrestling and action platforming genres. This page features a reader gift giveaway from BeepMD magazine, offering a variety of items. The top prizes are your choice of MegaDrive software, with 30 winners receiving their preferred game released by the end of April 1993, and Game Gear software, with 5 winners getting their desired title from the same release period. Other gifts include a poster for Fatal Fury, a signed board featuring the voice actors of Megalomania, a board game based on Romance of the Three Kingdoms, 2i, also available on Mega CD, and a set of promotional telecards for Wanpaku Kozu. The information section discusses the state of the market and upcoming releases, noting Capcom's increased presence and the release of Street Fighter II - and Street Fighter II Turbo on competing platforms. It expresses anticipation for major Sega titles coming in June and later in the year, like Shining Force 2 and Virtua Racing, highlighting Sega's push to elevate the Mega Drive. The next issue is announced for release on May 8th. A phone line is provided for questions, though game hints are explicitly excluded. The staff list is also presented. This page introduces Yumimi Mix, an interactive comic game for the Mega CD. A major draw is the art, personally handled by manga artist Izumi Takemoto, featuring a massive 7,000 animation frames and 800 layouts brought to life with full-screen animation. The game offers a branching narrative based on player choices, leading to multiple stories and endings. It boasts a fantastic voice cast, including popular talents like Akiko Hiramatsu and Toshihiko Seki, delivering extensive dialogue. The theme song is performed by Yumiko Takahashi. The page includes small panels showing off the game's charming visuals and character designs. It highlights the game's strength as a fully animated, voice-acted, interactive story experience. This page features Jikyu Chushin Ha 2, Tokyo Mahjong Landhen, a mahjong game available for both the Mega Drive and Mega CD. The game promises an exciting experience set in Tokyo Mahjong Land. A major highlight is the sheer scale, boasting 4 different worlds, 16 unique attractions, and a massive roster of 51 characters waiting for you to challenge. The page shows off various themed attractions within the game, including the Diamond Girls Review, Arakubutakuri Parade, 10-Pin World, Tengo World, Ryan Pin World, Inflation World, and Mahjong Castle Mystery Tour. There's also a Casino Palace area, which requires clearing 3 areas in story mode to access. Screenshots display the Mahjong gameplay interface, alongside illustrations of characters and scenes from the different attractions, such as a bowling alley theme in 10-Pin World, a gothic setting for Mahjong Castle, and a slot machine minigame in the Casino Palace. The game is based on the work of Masayuki Katayama and published by GameArts. This page features 2 exciting Game Gear titles and showcases the handheld console itself. First up is Pro Yaku GG League, a baseball simulation game that puts you in charge of building your ultimate team. It boasts the use of real player names and 1992 data, offering the thrill of creating a dream team or even challenging friends in versus mode. Releasing in April for 4,500 yen, it promises engaging baseball action. Below that is Doraemon Norasuke to Yukaina Nakamatachi, an action game where Doraemon must rescue his friends, including Nobita, Shizuka, Tsuneo, and Jian, who have been kidnapped by Norasuke. Screenshots show classic platforming gameplay as Doraemon navigates various environments. This title is also releasing in April for 3,500 yen. Finally, the page highlights the Game Gear console, emphasizing its vibrant color display that you can enjoy anytime, anywhere. It also features the optional TV tuner pack, effectively turning your Game Gear into a portable television. The console is priced at 19,800 yen, and the TV tuner at 12,800 yen.